नहीं है। इस मानसिकता से देश का बहुत बड़ा नुकसान हुआ। कितने ही सामर्थ्यवान युवा, कितनी ही प्रतिभाएं मैदान से दूर रह गई। बीते 8-9 वर्षों में देश ने इस पुरानी सोच को पीछे छोड़कर स्पोर्ट्स के लिए एक बेहतर वातावरण बनाने का काम किया है। इसलिए अब ज्यादा बच्चे और हमारे नौजवान स्पोर्ट्स को कैरियर के विकल्प के तौर पर देखने लगे हैं। फिटनेस से लेकर हेल्थ तक, टीम बॉन्डिंग से लेकर तनाव मुक्ति के साधन तक, प्रोफेशनल सक्सेस से लेकर पर्सनल इंप्रूवमेंट तक स्पोर्ट्स के अलग अलग फायदे लोगों को नजर आने लगे हैं। और खुशी की बात यह है कि माता पिता भी अब स्पोर्ट्स को गंभीरता से ले रहे हैं। ये बदलाव हमारे समाज के लिए भी अच्छा है, स्पोर्ट्स के लिए भी अच्छा है। स्पोर्ट्स को अब एक सामाजिक प्रतिष्ठा मिलने लगी है। और साथियों, लोगों की सोच में आए इस परिवर्तन का सीधा लाभ खेल के क्षेत्र में देश की उपलब्धियों पर दिख रहा है। आज भारत लगातार नए नए रिकॉर्ड बना रहा है। हमने ओलंपिक में अब तक का सर्वश्रेष्ठ प्रदर्शन किया। पैरालंपिक में भी अब तक का बेस्ट प्रदर्शन किया। अलग अलग खेलों के टूर्नामेंट्स में भारत का प्रदर्शन अब चर्चा का विषय बन रहा है। और साथियों, मेरे नौजवान साथियों, ये तो अभी शुरुआत है। अभी हमें और लंबी यात्रा करनी है। हमें नए लक्ष्यों को हासिल करना है। हमें कई नए रिकॉर्ड बनाने हैं। साथियों, स्पोर्ट्स एक स्किल है और एक स्वभाव भी है। स्पोर्ट्स एक टैलेंट है और ये एक संकल्प भी है। खेल के विकास में ट्रेनिंग का अपना महत्व है और साथ ही ये भी आवश्यक है कि खेल की प्रतियोगिताएं, स्पोर्ट्स टूर्नामेंट्स लगातार चलते रहने चाहिए। इससे खिलाड़ियों को अपनी ट्रेनिंग को लगातार टेस्ट करने का मौका मिलता है। अलग अलग क्षेत्रों में अलग अलग स्तर पर होने वाली खेल प्रतियोगिताएं खिलाड़ियों की बहुत मदद करती है। इससे खिलाड़ियों को अपने सामर्थ्य के बारे में तो पता चलता ही है, वो अपनी खुद की टेक्निक भी डेवलप कर पाता है। खिलाड़ियों के कोचेज को भी पता चलता है कि उसके शिष्य में, जिसको उसने सिखाया है, अभी कौन सी कमियां रह गई है, कहां सुधार की जरूरत है, कहां सामने वाला खिलाड़ी उस पर भारी पड़ रहा है। इसलिए ही संसद महाकुंभ से लेकर राष्ट्रीय खेलों तक खिलाड़ियों को ज्यादा से ज्यादा मौके दिए जा रहे हैं। इसलिए ही आज देश में ज्यादा से ज्यादा यूथ गेम्स हो रहे हैं, यूनिवर्सिटी गेम्स हो रहे हैं, विंटर गेम्स हो रहे हैं। इन गेम्स में हर साल हजारों खिलाड़ी हिस्सा ले रहे हैं। खेलो इंडिया अभियान के तहत हमारी सरकार खिलाड़ियों को आर्थिक मदद भी दे रही है। इस समय देश में 2500 से ज्यादा एथलीट्स ऐसे हैं जिन्हों खेलो इंडिया अभियान के तहत हर महीने 50,000 रुपये से ज्यादा दिए जा रहे हैं। ओलंपिक में जाने वाले खिलाड़ियों को हमारी सरकार की टारगेट ओलंपिक पोडियम स्कीम टॉप से बहुत मदद मिल रही है। इस स्कीम के तहत भी हर महीने करीब करीब 500 खिलाड़ियों को आर्थिक मदद दी जा रही है। अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर के कुछ खिलाड़ियों की जरूरत को देखते हुए सरकार ने उन्हें 2.5 करोड़ रुपये से लेकर 7 करोड़ रुपये तक की मदद की है। साथियों, आज का नया भारत स्पोर्ट्स सेक्टर के सामने मौजूद हर चुनौती के समाधान का भी प्रयास कर रहा है। हमारे खिलाड़ियों के पास पर्याप्त संसाधन हो, ट्रेनिंग हो, टेक्निकल नॉलेज हो, इंटरनेशनल एक्सपोजर हो, उनके चयन में पारदर्शिता हो, इन सभी पर जोर दिया जा रहा है। आज बस्ती और ऐसे ही दूसरे जिलों में खेलों से जुड़े इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर तैयार किए जा रहे हैं, स्टेडियम बनाए जा रहे हैं, कोचेज की व्यवस्था की जा रही है। देश भर में 1000 से ज्यादा खेलो इंडिया डिस्ट्रिक्ट सेंटर्स भी बनाए जा रहे हैं। मुझे खुशी है कि इनमें से 750 से ज्यादा सेंटर्स बनकर तैयार भी हो चुके हैं। देश भर के सभी प्ले फील्ड्स की जियो टैगिंग भी की जा रही है ताकि खिलाड़ियों को ट्रेनिंग मिलने में परेशानी ना हो। सरकार ने नॉर्थ ईस्ट के युवाओं के लिए मणिपुर में स्पोर्ट्स यूनिवर्सिटी का निर्माण किया है और यूपी के मेरठ में भी स्पोर्ट्स यूनिवर्सिटी का भी निर्माण किया जा रहा है। और मुझे बताया गया है कि यूपी में अनेकों नए स्टेडियम तैयार हो चुके हैं। खेलों को बढ़ावा देने के लिए यूपी के अनेक जिलों में स्पोर्ट्स हॉस्टल भी चलाए जा रहे हैं। राष्ट्रीय स्तर की सुविधाएं अब स्थानीय स्तर पर पहुंचाने का भी प्रयास है। यानी आपके पास, मेरे नौजवान साथियों, आपके पास अपार अवसर है। अब आपको जीत का झंडा लहराना है, देश का नाम रोशन करना है। साथियों, हर खिलाड़ी जानता है कि उसके लिए फिट रहना कितना जरूरी है और उसमें फिट इंडिया मूवमेंट की अपनी भूमिका रही है। फिटनेस पर ध्यान देने के लिए आप सभी एक और काम जरूर करें। अपने जीवन में योग को शामिल करें। योग से आपका शरीर भी स्वस्थ रहेगा और आपका मन भी जागृत रहेगा। इसका लाभ आपको आपके खेल में भी मिलेगा। इसी तरह हर खिलाड़ी के लिए पौष्टिक भोजन भी उतना ही जरूरी होता है। इसमें हमारे जो मिलेट्स हैं, हमारा मोटा अनाज जो कहते हैं, मोटे अनाज की बात जो करते हैं, आमतौर पर हमारे यहां गांवों में हर घर में खाया जाता है। ये मिलेट्स की भोजन में बहुत बड़ी भूमिका हो सकती है। आपको पता है कि भारत के कहने पर साल 2023 को इंटरनेशनल ईयर ऑफ मिलेट्स घोषित किया गया है। अपने डाइट चार्ट में आप मिलेट्स को शामिल करेंगे तो ये भी आपको बेहतर स्वास्थ्य में मदद करेगा। साथियों, मुझे भरोसा है हमारे सभी युवा खेलों से बहुत कुछ मैदान में भी सीखेंगे, जीवन में भी सीखेंगे और आपकी ये ऊर्जा खेल के मैदान से विस्तार होती होती देश की ऊर्जा बन जाएगी। मैं हरीश जी को बहुत बधाई देता हूं। बड़े लगन से इस काम के पीछे वो लगे रहते हैं। इस कार्यक्रम के लिए पिछली पार्लियामेंट में आकर के मेरे से निमंत्रण दे गए थे, तो उनका ये जो बस्ती के जवानों के लिए, नौजवानों के लिए दिन रात काम करने का उनका स्वभाव है, वो खेल के मैदान में भी दिखाई दे रहा है। मैं आप सबको बहुत शुभकामनाएं देता हूं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
All right, there you have Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the Khel Mahakumbh 2023, encouraging athletes from across India to participate. It's going to be a huge sporting affair. We're going to continue tracking those developments. A short break. We'll be right back with news and updates on the other side.
Experience in writing the book must be very extensive, because it was an extensive process. What was your experience while you were writing and researching about this book?
Right. Thank you so much. We started our vaccination on 16th of January 2021, so we are now nearing 2 years of that process. This book essentially covers the vaccine journey of India. It talks about not just the vaccination, the administration process, but also how the vaccines were researched, developed, what roles different parties played, like the government or the industry. We also spoke about the bottlenecks which we overcame. How did we use the technology, like COVID, for example? How did we have the communication strategy? So this book covers the whole gamut, and it was a great experience writing this, because it's a story of our national achievement. We bring forward what India has collectively achieved through these 2 years, and it's a very positive story about an Indian milestone.
When this entire process was happening, we really saw a lot of internal criticism. COVID was not working for a day. There was criticism. There were criticism about decisions being taken. What does your book detail about how the decisions were being taken when such criticism was probably the driving factor in that backdrop?
Right. The criticism were easy to have because it's such a complex process, and there was no playbook to handle this crisis. The decisions had to be made with limited information and also evolving situation, because the virus itself was mutating. They were, of course, like when PM Modi spoke about this crisis, he always spoke about lives and saving lives and livelihoods. So you had to take a call where you cannot shut down everything infinitely, and also you have to also save lives at the same time. So how do you balance the two objectives? And hence, while what looked very difficult in short term, like how do we handle the crisis, how do we make the vaccines, the fact is 2 years, if you look back in the hindsight, we actually did a pretty good job in terms of all aspects of the response, be it the health aspect, be it the financial management aspect, be it saving the economy. So again, the book really spoke to people who were involved in these decisions, and we bring
diet sodas, sugar-free tablets, artificial sweeteners. Do all of these give you a sense of assurance that you are staying away from sugar and that these are healthy alternatives? Well, it is not that simplistic as you think it is. Each of these artificial sources of sugar are unhealthy. Let us break this down for you. Diet soda is a go-to for people who love the taste of regular soda but can do without the sugar and calories. An average can of regular cola may contain a whopping 37 grams of sugar, and consuming too much sugar is linked to outcomes like obesity and poor heart health. So it makes sense that you may seek out a sugar-free alternative. But while drinking diet soda does help people reduce their sugar intake, this simple act can also expose a person to other ingredients that may be linked to some other health problems. The acidity in certain types of soda can lead to tooth erosion. Drinking excessive amounts of diet soda made with caramel coloring may result in teeth turning yellow. Some research suggests that artificially sweetened drinks are associated with a greater risk of obesity. If you opt for diet soda that contains caffeine, you may have trouble getting some much needed shut-eye at night. Diet soda is void of calories and sugar. Certain varieties can contain phosphorus in the form of phosphoric acid. This mineral, though important, can play a positive role in bone health, but consuming copious amounts of phosphorus can negatively impact the calcium-phosphorus ratio in your body.
When the sugar increases in the blood, that means when the blood glucose increases, then it leads to many comorbidities like obesity, diabetes, fatty liver, then risk of cancer, heart attack also increases. There are mood alteration leading to irritability, then there's sleep disorder, and many more things can happen.
So while this diet soda can be your once in a while sort of an alternative if you're having a craving for a sugary drink, this certainly isn't healthy. This is not your alternative to sodas, to regular sodas. Diet sodas have their own set of problems. So if you feel like having an iced drink, go for the old-fashioned drinks. Have water, have milk for example, also fresh fruit juices, not the ones that come in a Tetra pack.
Very good afternoon. You're watching India Today. I'm Nabila Jamal. Our top focus, the elections upcoming in the Northeast. In fact, the Election Commission all set to announce dates on when the Northeast will go to polls. We're going to track that piece of news right after the headlines. Tamil Nadu governor attempts now to end the Tamilgam row, clarifies that he never wanted to rename the state, said it was only more appropriate expression in his view. KCR hosts opposition leaders in a key huddle in Telangana's Khammam. Mamata Banerjee, Uddhav Sena, Congress and DMK not part of this meet. Now a fresh twist in Telangana's Thappad row. Victim reveals that he was beaten by Bandi Sanjay's son as he misbehaved with his friend's sister. Prime Minister Modi silences the boycott brigade, warns BJP leaders of stirring row over films, says the focus is on work, not on controversies. Ugly low in Karnataka politics after calling defectors prostitutes. Congress's MLC now attempts damage control, says that he respects sex workers. BJP Mantri hits back with a pimp jibe. Top Indian wrestlers protested Delhi's Jantar Mantar against Wrestling Federation of India, says the sporting body has been harassing them. Proof that Pakistan has given free pass to terrorist and underworld don Dawood Ibrahim. Dawood has taken control of the Karachi airport, moves in and out of Karachi without being stamped on the passport at the immigration. Right, a big catch for the BJP in Punjab. Ex-Punjab minister, part of the Congress, Manpreet Badal, all set to join the Bharatiya Janata Party as he resigns from the Congress. Punjab Congress leader and the former finance minister, Manpreet Singh Badal, has quit the party, blaming the top brass of factionalism within the Congress. In a letter that he's addressed to Congress MP Rahul Gandhi, Manpreet Badal has written that a coterie of men in Delhi is running affairs in Punjab and have only increased factionalism within the state unit of Punjab. He's now resigned from the primary membership of the Congress party, will be joining the Bharatiya Janata Party today. Let me quickly cut across to Kamaljeet Sandhu, who's joining us live along with Rajdeep Sardesai as well. Rajdeep, if you're with us, a quick word from you. Manpreet Singh Badal, who was integral for the Congress party in Punjab. Yes, Congress has lost the election in Punjab, but some of their leaders really defined what the party is or was. Now him withdrawing support, saying that there's extensive factionalism and is now all set to join the BJP. What does it really speak of? All right, we don't have Rajdeep. Kamal, over to you. The same question. Manpreet Singh Badal, him resigning from the Congress, what does it mean?
और अनुभवी राजनीतिक नेता जिन्होंने अपने कार्य से वर्षों वर्षों तक पंजाब की सेवा करी और मैं मानता हूं इनका योगदान शायद पंजाब के भी बाहर इसलिए जाता है कि जो जीएसटी काउंसिल का कारोबार था और जीएसटी काउंसिल में जब शुरू से माननीय अरुण जेटली जी, मुझे भी सौभाग्य मिला इनके साथ काम करने का 2 जीएसटी मीटिंग्स में और लगातार हम सभी का अनुभव ये रहा कि एक सोबरिंग इन्फ्लुएंस जो बहुत बैलेंस्ड, स्टडीड और देशहित को सर्वोप्रिय रखते हुए निर्णय लेने में अग्रसर रहते थे, ऐसे एक बड़े नेता पंजाब के आज भारतीय जनता पार्टी में प्रवेश कर रहे हैं। आपका मनप्रीत सिंह बादल जी तहे दिल से स्वागत है और मेरा विश्वास है कि आपके आने से भारतीय जनता पार्टी मजबूत होगी, पंजाब में भी, देश में भी। हमारा जो एक अटूट रिश्ता है सिख समुदाय के साथ और माननीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने जिस प्रकार से लगातार गत 8 साढ़े 8 वर्षों में अलग अलग तरीके से सिख समाज के साथ सिखों की बात, सिखों की चिंताओं के ऊपर गंभीरता से निर्णय लेना। हाल में ही मैं अमेरिका में था प्रवासी भारतीय दिवस के दिन और वहां एक बहुत बड़ा टोली सिख्स ऑफ यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स की मेरे पास आई और उन्होंने मेरे माध्यम से माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का धन्यवाद दिया कि उन्होंने वीर बाल दिवस मनाकर एक प्रकार से एक वर्षों तक जो लोगों के बीच में सिख समाज के बीच में एक थोड़ी बहुत फीलिंग थी कि जो उनका इतना बड़ा मार्टरडम हुआ है, जो उनकी कुर्बानी है, उसका सही माने में देश ने श्रद्धांजलि नहीं दी है। उस काम को भी मोदी जी ने पूरा किया। करतारपुर साहिब कॉरिडोर हो, अन्य प्रकार से जो मोदी जी का आउटरीच रहा है और जिस प्रकार से आत्मीयता का संबंध रहा है सिख समाज से, उसमें आपके आने से माननीय मनप्रीत सिंह बादल जी मैं समझता हूं और नजदीकी आएगी सब पंजाब में और देश भर और दुनिया भर के सिखों के बीच में, हमारे बीच में। और मेरा मानना है कि आपके आने से आज भारतीय जनता पार्टी को बहुत बड़ा एक पंजाब में भी और देश की राजनीति में आगे बढ़ने के लिए एक बहुत स्वर्णिम दिन मैं इस आज को मानता हूं। साथ ही साथ एक बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग चीज आपके साथ शेयर करना चाहूंगा। शायद ही पूरे नॉर्दर्न इंडिया में इतने सारे जो राज्य हैं, कोई वित्त मंत्री रहा होगा जिन्होंने 9 बजट पेश किए होंगे। माननीय मनप्रीत सिंह बादल जी ने 9 बजट पंजाब में पेश किए हैं। इनका ऑलवेज बड़ा सोबरिंग इन्फ्लुएंस रहता था, देश हित को सर्वोप्रिय रखते हैं, देश हित के पंजाब के हित के लिए चिंता करते हैं और मेरा जो व्यक्तिगत अनुभव रहा है कई मीटिंगों में, पहले वित्त विभाग के नाते, दूसरा आगे चल के फूड और कंज्यूमर अफेयर्स के नाते, मैं समझता हूं कि माननीय मनप्रीत सिंह बादल जी पूरे समय देश की चिंता करते हैं, पंजाब की चिंता करते हैं। आज सुबह भी जब हमारी मुलाकात हुई तो उनके दिल की बातें निकल रही थी, जिसमें पंजाब में जिस प्रकार से अराजकता फैली हुई है, जिस प्रकार से पंजाब फाइनेंशियली वीक होते जा रहा है, जो नीतियां पंजाब में आज के दिन बन रही हैं, उससे जो चिंता उन्होंने व्यक्त की, मैं समझता हूं उनका संवेदनशील व्यक्तित्व, उसमें मुझे एक झलक मिली। मेरा विश्वास है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी और मनप्रीत सिंह बादल जी के आज हमारे साथ जुड़ने से पंजाब की जनता की भी सेवा में बीजेपी एक बहुत ही अहम भूमिका निभाएगी आगे आने वाले दिनों में। मनप्रीत सिंह जी, आप कुछ शेयर करें हमारे साथ।
तो धन्यवाद। और मंच की और पीयूष जी आपकी मर्जी से और आपकी इजाज़त से सबसे पहले तो जितनी दिल्ली की प्रेस स्कोर आई है, मैं आप सबका यहाँ पहुँचने पे थैंक यू फॉर कमिंग टू कवर दिस इवेंट। आज बैठे हैं तो सबसे मैं पीयूष जी का धन्यवाद करता हूँ। इनकी कोशिश और काविश की वजह से आज इस प्रेस ब्रीफिंग में बैठा हूँ। हमारे पंजाबी में एक कहावत है कि मैं आया बीजेपी के दफ्तर में तो साहब आपने मुझे अपने हाथों पे नहीं, आपने मुझे अपनी आंखों पे बिठा लिया। इस बात का मैं धन्यवाद करता हूँ। मुझे पीयूष जी तकरीबन 30 साल हो गुजरे हैं राजनीति में। राजनीति में बहुत कम ऐसे मौके मिले हैं जब राजनीति में किसी शेर से मुलाकात हुई हो। कुछ दिन पहले मेरी एक शेर से मुलाकात हुई और वो भारत के गृह मंत्री, और उन्होंने मुझे एक बात कही जो मेरे को दिल को छू गई। उन्होंने मुझे बोला कि पंजाब ने हिंदुस्तान के लिए 400 हमले झेले हैं। 400 मर्तबा हिंदुस्तान पे जब आक्रमण हुआ तो वो पंजाब ने बर्दाश्त किया है। हम पंजाब को अपने हाल पे नहीं छोड़ेंगे। हम पंजाब को संवारेंगे, हम इसको सुधारेंगे और पंजाब का जो वकार है उसको एक बार फिर बहाल करना है। और ये बात जो है ये मुझे छू गई। एंड एज समवन हु रिफ्लेक्ट्स एंक्शियसली इन एवरी डे ऑन द फ्यूचर ऑफ पंजाब, मैं फिक्रमंद रहता हूँ पंजाब के हाल पे और पंजाब के आने वाले हाल पे। और ये जो पंजाब की धरती है ये शेरों को जन्म देने वाली धरती है। ये वो धरती है जिसको भगवान ने हरे खेतों और दरियाओं से ऐसे सजाया जैसे मेहंदी से किसी दुल्हन को सजाते हैं। तो फिक्र मुझे इसी बात का रहता है कि इस धरती माँ को मुसीबतों ने आके घेर लिया है। वहाँ गुर्बत है, गरीबी है, रिश्वत है, अनपढ़ता है, नशाखोरी है। वहाँ पर वतन दुश्मन कार्रवाइयाँ हैं और इनका कोई ना कोई हल होना चाहिए। हर दूसरा खानदान पंजाब में पाकिस्तान से आके बसा हुआ है। Every second family has actually emigrated from Pakistan. और आपकी तो उम्र बहुत कम है, शायद इसको आपको दिलचस्पी भी इसकी आपको कम होगी, पर 10 लाख आदमी थे जो जब हिंदुस्तान और पाकिस्तान का विभाजन हुआ तो 10 लाख आदमी कत्ल हुआ हमारा। लाखों माएँ थी हमारी जिनके सिरों से चादरें छीन ली गई। हमारी बेटियां थी जिनके सिरों से दुपट्टे नोच लिए गए। लाखों बुजुर्ग थे हमारे जिनकी जवान लाठियां थी, जो बुढ़ापे का सहारा थी, वो टूट गई। 10 लाख आदमी कत्ल हुआ। फिर जाके 15 अगस्त 1947 का सूरज चढ़ते हमने देखा था, और इस उम्मीद से आए थे कि ये किसी आज़ाद मुल्क में जा रहे हैं, मेहनत और मोहब्बत से अपने आने वाली नस्लों का हम कोई जो भविष्य है वो बनाएंगे। तो इस बात का हमेशा हमें पंजाब वाले लोगों को ये फिक्र रहता है कि वो जो सपने थे वो सपने जो हैं वो साकार होने चाहिए। तो वैसे तो कभी आपने नहीं सुना होगा कि बुज़दिल और पंजाबी, मायूसी और पंजाबी, ये दरअसल दो जो शब्द हैं वो एक सांस में जमा नहीं हो सकते। आपने कभी नहीं सुना होगा कि ये बुज़दिल पंजाबी है या मायूस पंजाबी है। इसलिए मैं और ये जो पंजाब के अंदर हर चीज अपने आप को देश के लिए कुर्बान कर देना, ये जो क्वालिटीज हैं पंजाब के लोगों की, ये बाजारों से नहीं मिलती, हाट से खरीद के नहीं ला सकते, ये भगवान की नुसरत से मिलती हैं। तो पंजाब ने एक बहुत बड़ा योगदान दिया है इस देश के निर्माण में, पर आज भी हम देख रहे हैं कि कुछ सफ़े जो हैं हिंदुस्तान के निर्माण में अभी भी खाली पड़े हैं, कोरे पड़े हैं, और पंजाब इन सफ़ों की, इन पेजेस की रौनक बन सकता है बशर्त इसको अच्छे आदमी, कोई लायक आदमी, कोई वतन परस्त लोग इसको चलाने के लिए आ जाएं। तो आज इसी फिक्र के साथ आज भारतीय जनता पार्टी इस आस और उम्मीद के साथ यहाँ शामिल हो रहे हैं कि कोई शख्सियत प्रस्त इंसान नहीं है, पर भारतीय जनता पार्टी का और प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी का एक ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड है हिंदुस्तान के लिए। पिछले जो 8 साल गुजरे हैं, डिप्लोमेटिकली हिंदुस्तान जो है बहुत मजबूत हुआ है। रूस से भी दोस्ती रख ली, अमेरिका को भी हाथ में ले लिया, चीन को भी आंखें दिखा दी, और पीयूष जी शायद इस बात की तायद करेंगे कि बहुत सस्ता तेल मिल गया हिंदुस्तान को। अगर सस्ता तेल ना मिलता तो देश में बहुत महंगाई होनी थी। आज यूरोप में, नॉर्थ अमेरिका में महंगाई बहुत है। अगर ये सस्ता तेल ना होता तो हालात बिगड़ सकते थे। हिंदुस्तान की जो इकोनॉमिक पॉलिसीज हैं पिछले 8 साल से, जो मोदी जी की खास करके PLI जो स्कीम आई है, वो मेक इन इंडिया की जो सारा है, वो देखें, उसकी वजह से हिंदुस्तान दुनिया की फैक्ट्री बन जाएगा। हिंदुस्तान वो हिंदुस्तान नहीं रहेगा जो आपने और मैं जिसको जानते हैं, हमारे बचपन वाला हिंदुस्तान नहीं है। हिंदुस्तान ने तरक्की बहुत करनी है। सवाल सिर्फ एक ही है कि उस हिंदुस्तान में पंजाब का क्या मुकाम होगा, पंजाब उस हिंदुस्तान में कहाँ खड़ा होगा। कि एक टाइम था पंजाब हिंदुस्तान के माथे का चांद हुआ करता था। कोई बहादुरी का मेडल आता था, पूछने की बात नहीं है, वो पंजाब से ही होता था। किसी से कोई खेल में कोई मेडल आता था, पंजाब से ही आता था। पंजाब स्लिप कर रहा है, और आज ये जो चुनौतियां हैं, अगर इसको कोई ना कोई हमें कोई पटड़ी पे चढ़ा सकता है तो वो प्रधानमंत्री और उनकी जो टीम है, ये जो मेरे बगल में बैठे हैं, यू रनिंग द 5th लार्जेस्ट इकोनॉमी, द 3rd लार्जेस्ट मिलिट्री इन द वर्ल्ड, इट्स द 7th बिगेस्ट country in the world. Or these are very exciting times to be a politician. These are very exciting times to be an Indian. You could have actually been an Indian from 1947 to 1995. Nothing was happening for India. And thanks to Modi ji, वो जो 8%, 9% जो ग्रोथ आ रही है इस वक्त, मैं सब्जेक्ट टू करेक्शन सर, वी आर a $3.25 trillion इकोनॉमी। जिस दिन हिंदुस्तान $6 trillion इकोनॉमी बन गया, वी विल बिकम अ मीनिंगफुल सोसाइटी। तो उस आस और उम्मीद के साथ आज बीजेपी और मोदी जी के जो इनका जो लीडरशिप है उसमें पंजाब का, और वैसे तो एक पंजाबी में मुहावरा है कि दोस्ती में, दुश्मनी में और आशिकी में इंसान को दिल तो बड़ा ही रखना चाहिए, दिल छोटा नहीं रखना चाहिए। तो कांग्रेस को तो आज खैर बात कह के आज भारतीय जनता पार्टी में शामिल हो रहे हैं। जिनके साथ कभी बैठ के पानी भी पिया हो उसके बारे में भी इंसान को बुरा बोलना नहीं चाहिए। बट मुश्किल ये थी कि हाउ कैन यू ऑपरेट इन अ पार्टी विच इज एट वॉर विद इटसेल्फ, अपने साथ ही जंग है, धड़े बने हुए हैं, जो 4-5 धड़े होते हैं, एक को लीडर ऑफ ऑपोजिशन बना देते हैं, एक लीडर ऑफ लेजिस्लेटर पार्टी बन जाता है, एक लीडर ऑफ कैंपेन पार्टी, एक दूसरे को साथ लड़ाई का वहां हर मतलब पंजाब में नहीं, हर कांग्रेस के हर स्टेट में यही हाल है। हम सियासत करते हैं मुल्क के लिए, कोई कुछ ना कुछ अपनी कौम के लिए करेंगे। इस धरती माँ का कर्ज देना है, हम कोई धड़ों की सियासत थोड़ी करेंगे। तो ये वजह है कि कांग्रेस जो है छोड़ने की नौबत पड़ी कि हमने धड़ों की सियासत थोड़ी करनी है कि एक हम जिस धड़े में है वो धड़ा आगे आए। So
all right, viewers, this is touted to be a big catch for the Bharatiya Janata Party in Punjab. The former finance minister, close aide of Captain Amrinder Singh, Manpreet Badal, has joined the Bharatiya Janata Party. You see Piyush Goyal welcoming him into the folds of the party. Let's get quick political opinions on what this could mean eventually for the Congress and for the BJP running up to 2024, 13 seats in Punjab in 2024. Rahul Srivastav, Rajdeep Sardesai, both with us. Rajdeep, break it down. In just where the politics of Punjab stands, Manpreet Badal was a prominent player for the Congress, now in the BJP fold. How does that impact the Congress, especially when the Bharat Jodo Yatra is just about exiting Punjab?
You see, it's not as if Manpreet Badal can be categorized as a mass leader of Punjab, Preeti, but what he was a credible, relatively sober face, studied face of politics in Punjab. Not seen to be part of the, the hustle and bustle of Punjab politics, the Ayaram, Gayaram of politics. Therefore, someone like him, who has given a budget a record 9 times as finance minister to Punjab, including in the last term of Amrinder Singh, leaving the Congress, is actually sending out once again the signal that the Congress is unable to retain talent within, especially within Generation Next. You see, ever since Amrinder Singh left the Congress, or was pushed out, as he claims, of the Congress, and the Congress then lost the election to the Aam Aadmi Party, the party has remained badly factionalized. And managing those factions appears to have become increasingly difficult, which is why restive figures like Manpreet Singh Badal have chosen the BJP. I can tell you that Manpreet for a while was also apparently in dialogue with the Aam Aadmi Party. This was before the elections of 2021, but eventually chose to stay on in the Congress, lost those elections, and has now chosen the BJP. But it's the optics. At a time when you're right that Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra has just gone through Punjab, for a Manpreet Singh Badal to leave the Congress again sends out the signal that all is not well within the Congress parivar. And I can tell you that there are more senior Congress leaders from Punjab who are who are caught in these factional struggles, who are looking at options. So over the next 6 to 9 months, we could see many more leaders leave the Congress, and many of them could join the BJP, for whom Punjab has always been a bridge too far, because they've never had strong Sikh faces. Now they are hoping that with the likes of Manpreet Badal joining the party, they can bridge the Sikh-Hindu divide and also thereby grow in Punjab, the one North Indian state that has proved a bridge too far for the BJP so far.
You know, Rajdeep, stay on with us. It's important to note, viewers, that Manpreet Badal, through the course of the Bharat Jodo Yatra, never quite attended it or walked with Rahul Gandhi. He says this is factionalism, the reason why he's quitting the Congress and entering the BJP. Going forward, 2024, would he be a factor for the BJP? But what's interesting, Rahul, and I'll bring you in on this, Manpreet Badal was once a close aide of Captain Amrinder Singh. Then there's no love lost between the two. They've always never seen eye to eye. How does now the Bharatiya Janata Party accommodate two factions of the Congress within its own fold, where they both don't see eye to eye?
Preeti, remember that as Rajdeep said, that he is not the quintessential street fighting kind of a politician. He is Doon School, he is St. Stephen's in Delhi, has presented 9 budgets, as Rajdeep said. Remember that he is also the son of the brother of Mr. Prakash Singh Badal, Gurdas Singh Badal. And the rivalries on that side of the fence became rather too strong that he couldn't have gone back to the Shiromani Akali Dal, which expelled him in October 2010. Manpreet Badal is that kind of politician that you can have in your fold, primarily because Manpreet Singh Badal does not antagonize anybody as viciously as is now the trend in contemporary politics. How will Amrinder Singh and Manpreet Singh Badal get along? I asked this question to somebody, and they said that there is actually going to be not much trouble because he didn't leave the Congress party largely because of Captain Amrinder Singh, but the fact is that he was largely sidelined by the regimes after that, the Congress matrix after Amrinder Singh, and that's what he was worried at. And I think also there is a bit of a problem for the 5-term MLA that, you know, if you're part of a boat which is sinking, you will like to be somewhere. And I think the BJP welcomes somebody like Manpreet Badal. He's young, 1962 born, brings on board somebody who has got a better worldview and also is a face in Punjab. And somebody was saying at the BJP that if the BJP wants to send out a signal to Jat Sikhs and Sikhs in Punjab, then perhaps somebody like a Manpreet Badal is a very strong face. But one will have to wait and see how the
you're right. One would like to wait and see. You're right, Rahul, because Manpreet Badal, not a mass leader, but having said that, an influential caste leader for sure. On the other hand, what is also interesting is, and it would be interesting to see how the dynamics work out, because Amrinder Singh, Captain Amrinder Singh and Manpreet Badal have never quite got along. Rahul Srivastava says that it's not going to be much of a problem, but you know, how will Amrinder Singh, Captain Amrinder Singh take Manpreet Badal now in the fold? Let's quickly listen in. Reactions coming in, and then Rajdeep, I'll come to you, because what's interesting, and one needs to read into this also, last 4-5 months, Manpreet Badal was one of the few Punjab leaders of the Congress who actively went and physically met Navjot Singh Sidhu in jail. So is there more to come? Is the picture bigger than what it just seems to suggest? But let's listen in to the reactions.
A lot of people coming and going. I mean, how would you see an exit and how would you see an entry?
No, that's a very good for the Congress party. Those who are commercial people, those who are afraid from this BJP people, those who are done something wrong, because some people are afraid from the ED, some of them, they are afraid from this CBI and from the vigilance. They are going.
I want to cut across back to Rajdeep Sardesai, our consulting editor. Rajdeep, how do you put this in perspective? Last 3 months, Manpreet Badal actively went and met Navjot Singh Sidhu multiple times in jail. Is there a larger picture to the plot?
Well, we don't know that as yet. Remember, Navjot Singh Sidhu's wife accompanied Rahul Gandhi on the Bharat Jodo Yatra. What Sidhu will do, only Sidhu really knows. But I think what is very clear, Preeti, is ever since the Punjab elections that took place a year ago and the AAP scored this resounding victory, the BJP sees a space opening up in the collapse of the badly factionalized Congress in that election. As I said earlier, for the BJP, Punjab has always been a bridge too far because they've never really had strong, credible Sikh faces. They've relied on the Punjabi Hindu vote by and large. Now you've got a situation where the former Punjab Congress chief Sunil Jakhar is with the BJP. You've got a former finance minister in Manpreet Badal who's now with the BJP. And the BJP is hoping over the next 6 to 9 months leading into the 2024 elections, they can pick up even more faces from the Congress in particular and thereby strengthen themselves in Punjab and thereby be in a position where they may win a couple of seats. Until now, they've always relied, piggybacked on the Akalis. That has changed, and therefore the BJP now wants to open up its own spaces and create for itself some kind of an identity in Punjab politics.
The BJP might want to create an identity, and I'll bring in Rahul Srivastava as well. But Rajdeep, the BJP might want to create an identity, but this is the same man, Manpreet Badal, who, if I'm not wrong, stood from Bhatinda constituency and lost the urban constituency in Bhatinda and lost with the maximum margin of 63,000 votes to the Aam Aadmi Party. On the other hand, he's one individual who's hopped from party to party, started from Akali to PPP to Congress and now to the Bharatiya Janata Party. Rajdeep.
Sure, but look, does ideology really matter in Indian politics? The fact is, all the Badals lost in the 2022 elections, including Sukhbir Singh Badal and Prakash Singh Badal. The fact is, the Badal family, you see, Manpreet Badal has tried to position himself as an anti-Prakash Singh Badal family figure. That's when he left the party, formed his own party for a while, was not very successful, then went into the Congress. The truth of the matter is, a space is opening up for the opposition in Punjab, because the Aam Aadmi Party scored a resounding victory as the new player on the block. In the last 9 months, the Aam Aadmi Party has been under pressure in Punjab on governance issues. So the opposition, whoever that be, whether it's the Congress, the BJP, or indeed the Akalis, are hoping to capture that space. The BJP seems to have decided, rather than tie up with the Akalis ahead of 2024 once again, let's try and build the BJP as a strong, credible force in Punjab and challenge in a way AAP and the Congress. And getting in Manpreet Badal and possibly other leaders, some big Congress names in the next 6 months, could be part of that process.
All right. Okay, so one quick question to Rahul Srivastava and then we'll quickly move out. But Rahul, what do you make of it? If you come as a big vote collector, he hasn't been. Highest losing margin belonged to Manpreet Badal in Punjab in this election to Aam Aadmi Party. On the other front, other than just a big face, he's a man who switched parties and loyalties very, very quickly. From Akali to PPP to Congress and now to the BJP.
Preeti, that's how brick by brick a party builds itself in a state where it has virtually no presence or it was piggy riding. If you go back to Maharashtra, for example, the BJP was totally dependent on the Shiv Sena. Today, it has reached a stage in which it became a bigger player than the Shiv Sena, has split the Shiv Sena. The Shiv Sena is on the margins of politics. Similarly, in Punjab, the BJP, I think it is the congressmen who realized that with the rise of the Aam Aadmi Party, the Congress not getting anywhere. And imagine this is happening right after Rahul Gandhi, the Yatra passes through, the Bharat Jodo Yatra passes through Punjab. That a senior leader, he may not be a vote getter, but I think Captain Amrinder Singh and the Congress party felt he was deserving enough to be their finance minister and present their budgets. And I know that in every GST council meeting, Manpreet Singh Badal was one of the most prominent faces of the Congress finance ministers in the GST council, leading states like Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan, virtually dictating the agenda for the opposition. The fact remains that this is how they've got the Congress leaders, as Rajdeep is saying, are feeling jittery. They may start moving towards the BJP and other players. I think it is the slow start of a contest in which the BJP will like it like that. I'm not saying it is going to happen, because Congress still is a player and the Akali Dal is still a player, where the BJP will like the battle to get narrowed between Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP. And perhaps in that effort, more migrations can be expected from the Congress party.
Well, you're right there, because the BJP already trying to make massive inroads where the quintessential Hindu vote in Punjab is concerned. But now the advent of a Jat Sikh leader, what does it bring to the BJP other than sheer optics? We'll only know in days to come. Rajdeep and Rahul, do stay with me. I want to quickly cut across to the other big developing story that we are tracking, and that is the dates for the assembly elections to be announced shortly by the Election Commission for the states of Tripura, Meghalaya and Nagaland.
Election Commissioner Shri Rajiv Kumar and Election Commissioners Shri Anup Chandra Pandey and Shri Arun Goyal. ऑडियो नहीं आ रहा है आपको? ऑडियो टीम प्लीज चेक कर लें. अभी तो आपका टेस्ट चेक किया था, आपने कहा ठीक है. Accompanying the commission are
all right, just in a short while, the Election Commission is going to announce the dates for the 3 states of Meghalaya, Nagaland and Tripura, all set to go to elections over the course of the next month and a half. Now, this comes a week after the EC team visited the 3 election-bound states. The term of all 3 assemblies is ending in March. Different dates, but in March. The BJP had won 33 seats in the 2018 Tripura elections and came to power after overthrowing the CPIM. Biplab Dev became the chief minister then. The Congress and the left parties are now planning to form an alliance to counter the BJP this year in the state, which is the state of Tripura. But when you put the focus on the state of Meghalaya, the National People's Party alliance with the BJP came to power. The Congress was in the opposition, winning 21 seats. However, with a coup of sorts, the entire opposition of the Congress defected to the TMC as well. The TMC looking to make massive gains in Meghalaya. It's a trial by fire for the TMC in the state. Meanwhile, in Nagaland, United Democratic Alliance had come to power with the support of NDPP, BJP and NPF parties. There is no opposition currently where Nagaland is concerned. When it comes down to an actual Game of Thrones kind of match, it would be the state of Meghalaya, which would be keenly watched, followed by Tripura. While Nagaland, with no clear opposition, it seems to be an easy lay of land where politics is concerned. All right, viewers, we are expecting the Election Commission to announce the dates shortly. There's a bit of an audio connect, which the press conference that we're getting in, we're going to try and rectify that, viewers. But the 3 states kickstart a 9-state election year in 2023. Nagaland, Meghalaya, all 3 go to vote over the course of the next 1 month. There was 3 northeastern states will hold elections. This, of course, follows the elections in Gujarat, Himachal Pradesh as well, and, of course, the MCD elections, out of which there will be the BMC elections, which will also be taking place, possibly before these 3 states go to vote. Well, to get our viewers up to speed, out of the 3 northeastern states, the BJP secured a thumping victory in Tripura, but the governments in Meghalaya and Nagaland resulted from political maneuvering. And believe me, viewers, a lot of political maneuvering when it comes down to that. With Tripura, the assembly elections in February 2018, if you remember, was significant in many, many ways. This was after the West Bengal victory. This was the country's only state ruled by the left front for 25 years in a row. Manik Sarkar was the man, the chief minister, but he failed to come back to power. The BJP won 35 seats, surpassing the magic figure of 31 required for majority. The left at that time in Tripura was practically reduced to just 16. On the other hand, which we just highlighted, in Meghalaya, the Congress was the principal opposition, and in what clearly was an overnight coup of sorts by the TMC, the entire opposition defected to the TMC. For TMC, this would be trial by fire where Meghalaya is concerned. If the TMC is to come to the national politics as a front runner going up to 2024, or possibly wanting to be a part or the fulcrum for opposition unity, that it needs to make and show massive gains in the states of Tripura and Meghalaya. What we are getting to understand that the TMC is going all in where Meghalaya is concerned. I'll quickly bring in our panelists while we try and rectify our audio. Let's see if it's come back. To be a bit of an audio problem, but I'll bring in Rajdeep Sardesai and Rahul Srivastava, both who are joining us for the latest there. Rajdeep, out of the 3 states where dates be announced shortly from now, which is that one state you're going to keenly watch, and why?
Well, I think 2 states, Tripura and Meghalaya, for very different reasons. Meghalaya, because it appears that Mamata Banerjee's national ambitions were stymied after what happened in Goa last year. She tried to expand beyond Bengal and it didn't work out. Now her focus is on Meghalaya. In fact, as we speak, she's addressing a rally this evening in Meghalaya, because the Trinamool Congress believes that having taken away most of the Congress flock from it in Meghalaya, they can emerge as one of the challengers to the NPP of Conrad Sangma in Meghalaya. So for Mamata Banerjee, Meghalaya important. Tripura important both for the left and Congress. Can they work together and actually form some kind of an alliance specific to the state and actually take on the BJP there? there is a possibility, given the left's base, traditional base in Tripura, can the Congress and the work together with the left at the local level and do in Tripura
I'm
what
going
they
to come
could
in,
not
and the
achieve
reason
in
I'm
Bengal?
coming in is that the Election Commission PC press conference is just about started. Coming right back to you after that. Listen in, viewers.
The ECI, friends from the media, and before starting this press conference, as you all know, this is the first press conference in this year. So we want to wish you a very happy new year, and also that during the year we would keep meeting more often. This is just the beginning of the elections during 2023. तो लगातार आपसे मिलते रहेंगे. And happy beginning for the voters of Tripura, Meghalaya and Nagaland to join in the festival of democracy. Greetings to the voters of these three states. As you may be aware, the term of legislative assemblies of the three states of Nagaland, Meghalaya and Tripura are respectively coming to an end on 12 March, 15 March, 22 March. तीनों assemblies का जो term है वो इस दिन खत्म हो रहा है. The three states have 60 assembly constituencies each. Nagaland has 59 STs and just 1 general. Meghalaya 57 STs and 5 general, whereas Tripura has 30 general, 10 SCs and 20 STs. So friends, women participation in these three states in the earlier elections has been higher than the male participation. So it's a very happy trend to report to you. While each election has its own set of challenges, and despite difficult terrains in these three states have set this example of, as you are seeing, a female voter turnout of 86% as against 81% of male in Nagaland, 87% as against 83% in Meghalaya, and 91% in Tripura as against 87% in Tripura. तो इन सभी राज्यों में महिलाओं की भागीदारी वोटिंग में ज़्यादा रही है, और ये विषय हम पूरे देश के समक्ष भी रखना चाहते हैं, ताकि दिस इज़ अ गोल टू एस्पायर फॉर अस एंड ऑल्सो ऑल आर प्राउड वीमेन वोटर्स ऑफ द कंट्री. And not only the participation, their number also in the electoral roll is higher. This is also another very interesting thing in this case of these three states. All the 60 general assemblies, general assembly constituencies would go to the poll in these three states. As you all know, these three states have the terrain related challenges, but Commission is committed to ensure the free, fair, participative, accessible and ethical elections in these three states. Friends, we recently visited these three states from 11th of January to 15th of January and met all the district collectors, SPs, senior police officers, CS, DG, all the enforcement agencies. So we want to report back to you what is the feedback and how would we tackle this. Let me in the beginning mention that all over the country there are only few states जहां अब प्री पोल, ड्यूरिंग द पोल और पोस्ट पोल वायलेंस बची है. अभी आपने पीछे 2 इलेक्शंस देखे, कोई वायलेंस नहीं थी. उससे पहले भी 5 इलेक्शन, उससे पहले भी 5 इलेक्शन देखे, देयर वाज नो वायलेंस. इट्स ओनली इन 2-3 स्टेट्स of the entire country which is left, and Commission is committed with the help of the district administration, district magistrates, SPs. We have told them very, very clearly that the society should have zero tolerance for any kind of violence during the elections. Actually, लोकतंत्र में हिंसा का कोई स्थान नहीं है और हम कमिटेड हैं कि इस राज्यों में भी इस तरीके से आगे बढ़ेंगे. If I show you the electors related profile, Nagaland has in all the state specific details are here and would be shared with you all. But अगर total देखें तो तीनों राज्यों में मिला के जो आपके सामने में फिगर है उसके अनुसार मेल फीमेल फर्स्ट टाइम वोटर्स, पीडब्ल्यूडी वोटर्स, 80 वोटर्स, सेंटेनेरियन वोटर्स, ये सबकी फिगर आपके समक्ष है। जो एसएसआर का कार्य था वो 5 जनवरी को पूरा हो गया है और लिस्ट पब्लिश कर दी गई है एंड ऑल ओवर द कंट्री इंक्लूडिंग दीज 3 स्टेट्स एंड copies have also been given to the polling parties. There are 2.28 lakh voters who have been added in these 3 states, and as per the roll published, there are 97,000 voters who are 80 plus, and there are 31,700 voters who are PWDs, and 100 plus voters number is 2,600, and we have given great emphasis for inclusion of these voters. सभी डीओस को इंस्ट्रक्शंस दी गई हैं कि इन सब के वोट्स लेने के लिए फॉर्म 12D के माध्यम से जो व्यवस्था है, अगर वो लोग पोलिंग स्टेशन पे किसी कारणवश नहीं आ सकते तो जरूर वोट दिलवाएं। देयर आर मोर देन 1.6 lakh वोटर्स who are 18 to 19 years as per the SSR. And friends, as I mentioned in one of the conferences earlier also, we have enabled these 17 plus voters, those who are of 17 years age and not yet 18, to give us advance applications, so that उनकी applications को हम अपने पास रखें प्रोसेस करके, और जैसे ही वो 18 साल के हों उनको हम वोटर कार्ड दे दें, साथ में एक वेलकम किट दे दें। So you would be happy to know that approximately 10,000 youths have registered with us in these 3 states who are between 17 to 18 years. So these 3 states, 62.8 lakh voters combinedly are ready to go to vote, and we request all of them to participate in the elections ethically, freely, and in large numbers. If we come to the polling stations accordingly, how do we conduct this in how many polling stations? The total number of polling stations, state-wise list is here to you, the bifurcation which you can use, which we will put it on our website and social media also, so that you can use these charts. 9,125 polling stations, and these are 634 more than 2018. Because of the geography of these states, it's around 82% in the rural areas. And we have mandated that 50% of the polling stations would be webcasted. In this case, the arrangements have been made for 73% webcasting of 73% polling stations across these 3 states. Friends, our emphasis now, after I covered the roll part of it, so now from roll to poll. So as I mentioned earlier also, our basic contact with the voters is twofold. At the time of registering them, that is getting entry into the roll, and then at the time of polling. So roll I mentioned recently, just in the briefing. The polling part I will mention now. How do we make their polling easy and a and a kind of a festive? So in these states, there would be 376 polling stations, which would just be managed by our women officers, including the women police personnel. So entire booth, including the security, would be managed by the women staff. And similarly, PWDs will manage the polling stations, and there would be model polling stations which would also have some kind of environmental friendly material used inside. और मॉडर्न पोलिंग स्टेशंस में बहुत प्रयास लोग कर रहे हैं अच्छा करने का, कहीं पर क्रैच भी बना रहे हैं ताकि जो महिला मतदाता आते हैं बच्चों को साथ में लेके, तो वो भी उनको दे फील ए वेरी काइंड ऑफ ए congenial environment to vote. As you might recall, we have also started a practice to encourage our youth who are not so much into, there is some kind of youth apathy which we are struggling with. तो हमने जो हमारे यंग एम्प्लॉयज़ हैं उनके माध्यम से भी जो अभी रिक्रूट हुए हैं, ये गुजरात और हिमाचल में भी ये प्रक्रिया अपनाई थी, अब उसको आगे बढ़ाते हुए यहाँ भी बूथ्स जो है वो यंग एम्प्लॉयज़ के द्वारा मैनेज होंगे. Needless to say that in all the polling stations, we'll have 100% assured minimum facilities, which include all of them are ground floor. There would be ramp, there would be accessible, there would be water, there would be electricity, there would be toilet, and there would be a volunteer to help our PWD voters and also our senior citizens. Again, needless to say that if somebody has by chance does not have EPIC card, any of these 12 documents can be used. We are just showing it to you so that you can popularize them, put them on through your mediums also. As usual, we would like to again mention you that we salute our heroes of democracy. These are our 80 plus and 100 plus voters. And to give you a glimpse of the beautiful states of Tripura, Meghalaya and Nagaland, these are our old voters, very respected voters, very happy voters. It's a very happy feeling to talk to them whenever we go. And the form 12D would be available to them in these 3 states also from the 5th day onwards after nomination. And as usual, our entire team will go and take their vote with a full security, in which the polling parties will go and the polling agents of the candidates would also be allowed to accompany. Again, this would be applicable to 2600 100 plus of our centenarian voters. The candidates or their agents would all go together, can go accompany to the house of the voter so that there is no allegation of any compromise. Just to mention here, fake news थोड़ा फैलाने वाले भी नए नए तरीके ढूंढते हैं. तो अभी पिछले इलेक्शन में एक एक्सपीरियंस आया था कि किसी ने कहा एक कमरे में बूथ बना के और एक वीडियो चलाई कि ये वोटर्स को ओल्ड एज के कंप्रोमाइज हो गया, वोट कोई और डाल रहा है. तो इंक्वायरी कराई तो पता लगा कि वो तो कोई और जगह थी. तो हमने इसके लिए एक नया और रास्ता निकाला है. वो जैसे जैसे नए तरीके ढूंढते हैं हम भी काउंटर करते हैं. तो हमारा तरीका निकाला है कि जो भी घर में जाएंगे, अब जो पोलिंग कंपार्टमेंट सेट करेंगे उसमें असेंबली नंबर भी लिखा रहेगा स्टिकर के रूप में, सो दैट कोई अगर फेक चलाने की कोशिश भी करता है तो एटलीस्ट वो एक ही जगह का होगा. पूरे उसमें तो हमें मालूम ही नहीं हुआ कि किस कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी की बात कर रहे हैं. सो नाउ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी नंबर and booth number will also be pasted on the compartment so that we are sure that there is no fakeness into this, if at all there is a photo. So there would be a sticker attached to this. Friends, there would be 31,700 PWD voters. And these, as I mentioned, they also have the same facility. Ramps are being constructed. And another thing which we want to report to you, we are making another effort. The drinking water, electricity, ramp, why not get them permanently in these schools through the medium of our elections? So we are insisting everywhere that please do not create temporary facilities to the extent possible. In any case, let this be a gift to the schools from the election process, that they get separate toilets for boys and girls, electricity, furniture, and the ramp for the students who could be otherwise suffering, having any kind of disability. So budgets are being sanctioned by all these states, and we have been promised that they will try and get the permanent structures to the extent possible, so that we don't review all the time, and we guarantee that all our polling stations, the schools, are now PWD friendly with electricity and with toilets. The Commission has also, as you know, provided the Saksham app. They can book any facility which they want, from the volunteers to the tricycle or whatever they want, wheelchair, that can also be made available. दिल्ली में बैठ के हम लोग जब इलेक्शंस की बात करते हैं तो एक डिफरेंट पिक्चर नज़र में आती है. तो इन दिस प्रेजेंटेशन एंड टू मेक इट लिटिल मोर grounded, we are trying to show you how it looks where the elections are going to happen, and how tough it is, how different it is from our perspective, how difficult it is to conduct election in these states for the personals who are involved in this. You would see the polling station on the slide here. This is at the top of a foothill called the Mount Saramati in Nagaland. And you can imagine how difficult would it be for the polling parties to go. The second one which you are seeing is very interesting. This is on the border of Myanmar, and the line, the division line, passes through the house of the head of the village. So his house is half this side, half this side. So that's the interesting picture we thought we'll show you to make it little more visually appealing to you. How they conduct elections in places like Meghalaya. Please see how difficult it is. Somewhere there are temporary booths, temporary bridges of bamboo which are made. I'll show you a small video how do they walk this time. Look at the next slide, in which polling stations and families in Tripura. This is from Tripura. Half them going by kind of boats and into the inhabited, less habited, inaccessible islands also. So friends, imagine the BLOs, the polling personals who go and get involved in this activity. Forests, tough terrains, the bridges which are temporary, hill areas. And what happens? They actually deserve our appreciation. So this is what I wanted to brief and show you this. Friends, just to take you a little back, in last 2 years we have had assembly elections to 13 states, starting from Bihar during the pandemic to the last in Himachal and Gujarat. There were 6.46 lakh polling stations. I would be grateful if you can convey this. 6.46 lakhs polling stations, and minimum on each station there are 3 units of the EVM, which is ballot unit, which is the VVPAT, and which is the CPU. Of all these 6.46 lakhs polling stations, many of which are as tough as this. And I'll tell you how they are tough. अभी आपने इस वीडियो में देखा कि एक रोप वे पर एक व्यक्ति को लाया जा रहा था. उसको हार्ट की प्रॉब्लम हो गई. ही वॉज ए पर्सनल एम्प्लॉय, ही वॉज ए पोलिंग ऑफिसर. उसको लाना मुश्किल हो गया. और एक जगह आपने देखा गाड़ी नहीं निकाली जा रही थी. Exactly in these 13 elections, only 4 incidents happened, जो दिन भर टीवी पर चलती रहीं. दिन भर. एक असम में जब रात के 10-11 बजे भारी बारिश में वो दूसरी प्राइवेट गाड़ी में आए. It was a violation of the protocol, no doubt. But I am just trying to tell you the scale. Out of 6.46 lakhs, only 4. One was in Tamil Nadu, where somebody came on a scooter in a hurry to deposit the machines. One was in West Bengal, and one was in UP. That's all. And imagine what happens whole day. Because I understand it gets more TRP, but it whole day this is shown. And the employees, when we talk to them, believe me, it's very painful for them. They say that 6.46 lakhs minus 4 are just forgotten how much work they have done. So just to sensitize you, nothing more. Coming to the informed voting, this is our KYC app. all the citizenry can know about the candidates, their criminal background. This is about the C-Vigil, I'm sorry. The vigilant citizens, they can make any complaints, and all these details in detail we have given in each of these states so that voters in those 3 states of Tripura, Meghalaya and Nagaland can use this. And believe me, it is helping us. You remember in the recently held elections, we confiscated goods close to how much, around 900 crores as against 40-50 crores of the last 2018 elections in Himachal and Gujarat. Large part of it was helpful to us. And repeatedly telling through the medium of the press, our friends, it helps us to ensure that the elections are free and the inducement free. We will also deploy observers in these 3 states. 64 expenditure observers. We have identified expenditure sensitive constituencies. In some states there are more. Out of these 3, in some states there are more. Because each state is different. Each state's context is different. We will also have 69 general observers and we will have 33 police observers in these places. And large number of instructions have been given to enforcement agencies to curb the flow of cash, to asking banks to keep a watch on the accounts, also asking them, again, the use of money also people are becoming smarter. In last time we came to a situation where the bank account is used to transfer money through the ballots or something to the large number of voters. We have asked banks to keep a watch on this. We'll monitor the ballots, we'll monitor the payments through electronic means, and we'll also monitor the withdrawal of used cash or deposits of used cash in any account in these 3 states and also wherever elections are held. We have also directed the Narcotics Bureau and the State Excise to very, very strictly look for drugs. Because this, not in this area, otherwise also you saw it in Bengal, you saw it in Punjab and Gujarat also, last elections, large number of seizures were made. So, drugs also we have very, very strictly said. So, in nutshell, our paramilitary forces have already this time reached these 3 states. And they are already involved in area domination. And because of that, I am again happy to report, because of that, the incidents of violence so far are nil. And we are hopeful. We have told our DOs. And citizens also want this not to happen. They are also very much in favor. And we have appealed to them while we were there that please help us by knowing any possibility through C-Vigil or something. Bring it to our notice so that we can get your help to curb it. Model Code of Conduct will now come into force in these 3 states. And next, if we can show you the schedule, the dates would be something like this. Tripura, and we have taken let me tell you first this. The date of issue of notification in case of Tripura would be January 21. And last date of making nominations, January 30. We will also put it on social media account of ours immediately so that you can take this. You can put it right now. So if you want, it can be downloaded from our sweep handle. Meghalaya and Nagaland would have it on 31st January. And thereafter, both of them have the poll together. The date of poll would be February 16th in case of Tripura and February 27th. So we are finishing all the polling in the February 27th, within February itself. This is to take into account, this has taken into account that the examinations schedules are also taken into account and that children are not really disturbed by this to the extent possible. So since most of the exams are by and large in March, we have tried to finish this in February itself. And no polling station is in any school which is a CBSE related school whose CBSE schedule has come. So there is only one paper before this. But we have ensured that in no school there is a CBSE center or a CBSE school. Next, this is all the dates. We are also having by-elections. There are by-elections now. Whatever are the vacancies reported to us so far, we are all covering them, and this is the tradition again we are starting, not to wait. As soon as there are vacancies, we try and finish up, though we can wait technically for 6 months. But we are finishing it, keeping it update, giving the electorate to have their representatives. So there is 1 AC each in Arunachal, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, 2 ACs in Maharashtra, and 1 parliamentary constituency in Lakshadweep. The details would be available of these names of these constituencies, and the schedule would be like this. They will go with the Meghalaya and Nagaland poll on the same day. That means the February 27th would be date of poll, and January 31st being the date of notification. Thank you, friends. Again, through you, I want to appeal to all the voters to come forward, participate in the large number, and strengthen the democracy, deepen it further. And through the media, I'm sure all this will reach them, and media this time would also be far more receptive to showing some good stories of the election. There are a large number of good stories which are being produced. We have also taken on ourselves. We have asked the DOs to please document those success stories. Please document. So they are also in the process. I'm sure they will also do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I would now invite all your questions. Kindly introduce yourself along with your name and media organization before you begin the question. Any questions, or sir's opening statement has been detailed enough? Shailesh Sharp. Mike
दोबारा एक बार बोलेंगे आप? All right, viewers, that's the latest news break that is coming in from the Election Commission. The date of poll for the state of Tripura is 16th February. Meghalaya and Nagaland will go to polls on the 27th of February. Counting day for all 3 states is March 2nd. March 2nd, the fate of all 3 states would be known. However, there is a difference in terms of polling dates between 3 states, a 10-day difference between Tripura. Tripura is the first state out of the 3 to go to polls first, which is the 16th of February, following which Nagaland and Meghalaya will poll together come the 27th of February. I want to quickly cut across to my colleague Afrida, who's joining us with the very latest coming in. Afrida, well, the poll bugle, to quote the cliche, has literally been sounded for all 3 states. Tripura will go to polls first, come the 16th of February, 27th. Both the other states of Meghalaya, Nagaland, and 2nd of March would be counting for all 3 states.
Yes, just now as the Election Commission has announced the dates for all the 3 states, and the Tripura will have the elections on February 16, and Meghalaya and Nagaland will have on February 27. It will be the most exciting one for the Northeast, because as far as the Election Commission has already briefed that the terrain is also very difficult, and a large number of voters are there, which is expected to vote this time. And but this will be the most exciting elections in Meghalaya and Nagaland especially. And because in Nagaland, as there is no oppositions, but there are concerns from the public as well, because because of the Naga peace talk, because framework agreement was signed in the year 2015 with a promise, with a poll promise that they will, the government of India will bring the peace to the Nagaland. But different NGOs along with the ENPOs and all, they are saying now that no elections without solutions. So it will be interesting to see what happens in Nagaland right after this announcement. Although the nephew Rio today had made a categorical statement that elections are constitutional obligations and constitutional crisis can't be allowed. But most interestingly, the Nagaland is a state where it's a state run by the parallel. It's a state run by the parallel government. So it will be most interesting to see all this development after these announcements.
Well, very, very interesting. Thank you, Afrida, for breaking down the local semantics of each state. Coming right back to you for more. But viewers, also what's interesting, all three states, 60 seats, 60 seats, 60 seats. Tripura, with its all of 60 seats, goes to polling, goes to vote on the 16th of February. Then there's a 10-day difference. 27th February is when Meghalaya and the other third state of Nagaland will be going to vote. 2nd March, once again, is counting day for all three states. Rahul, interesting, many would read into it of the 10-day gap between Tripura and Meghalaya and Nagaland.
Yes, I think also largely because of the security terms, in terms of movement of security, because remember, Nagaland and certain parts of Meghalaya will need certain amount of beefing up as far as the security is concerned. Also, the election commission has a reason which they can state is that the terms of the assemblies are different. That both Nagaland and Meghalaya sometime in March, and while Tripura is ending in February. So the election commission can say that this is the gap is because of that, but it does give, yes, political parties more time to campaign. Remember, these three states, 180 odd seats. I think the BJP, for the central BJP, it's critical part of their look northeast plan, primarily because though there might be 180 seats, the BJP has been eyeing for strengthening itself in this region, especially the 7 states in the northeast, because of the 25 Lok Sabha seats, and in a political matrix where every seat matters. The BJP, if not something like in Tripura, where it is facing a bit of heat because one, increased political movement by the Trinamool Congress, one. The second, the tie-up between the left and the Congress party, if they get the IPFT, which they are attempting to get the tribal forces with them, if 3-4 of them come together and there is a 3-way contest between the coalition between left, Congress, and the BJP and the Trinamool Congress, the BJP will have it very, very tough in Tripura, one of the states where it in northeast, which it clearly rules. Beyond that, in Meghalaya also, not very happy tidings. What we are hearing that there could be a split as far as the ruling NPP, Conrad Sangma's party is concerned, and the two could, the BJP and Sangma, actually may go on separate ways to contest the election and look forward for perhaps coming together after the elections are over.
Well, would that also mean somewhere down the line advantage TMC, Rahul? Because TMC is all in, where Meghalaya comes into question. Overnight coup, the entire opposition, which was with the Congress, defected for the TMC. And Afrida, I'd like to bring you in on this because both two states of Meghalaya and Tripura, and I would reckon the TMC is going for a bigger push where Meghalaya is concerned, not that, it's leaving Tripura. But very, very important politically for the TMC to come good in these elections, especially if they want a position or what they had aspired for earlier to be the possible fulcrum for opposition unity. It needs to go beyond and extend its footprint to the northeast if it is looking at the national stage at all.
See, in Tripura, I would like to mention, as I am closely monitoring all this, that with the in Tripura, the TMC cannot make its second home without any alliance. There is no sign of it. Because the Tripura Motha, which has come up as a regional party, and also the CPIM and the Congress is already there, and the BJP may face turbulence from the Tripura Motha, which is the emerging party with the influence in 20 reserve seats in Tripura. Besides that, the combination votes where the Muslim voters are also there in Tripura, in another 15 seats apart from this 20 seats, the Tripura Motha will have a huge influence. And there has also been a talk of secret understanding between the Tripura Motha, and although the Congress and the CPIM has already decided to go for an alliance, but Tripura Motha might have a secret understanding regarding the sheet sharing with these two parties. Regarding the Meghalaya, yes, of course, the entire opposition has defected to the TMC, leaving the Congress as its zero. And right now, the Congress doesn't have any impact in Meghalaya, no sign. And the rest of the members who are in Congress, they have lately joined NPP, including the Amparin Lingdo in the Conrad Sangma's party. So the NPP has decided to go alone in this election. Later on, they may decide the post-poll alliance, but as far as of now, the Conrad Sangma has decided to go solo in this election. And yes, TMC has also decided to go alone in this election without any alliance. Yes, of course, that we can see that your TMC with the leadership of Mukul Sangma, who has joined from the Congress party, has certain influence in the Garo Hills and also in the Khasi Hills as well. So this will be the most interesting elections to see.
All right, stay with me, Afrida. I want to quickly pull in Rahul Srivastav as well. Rahul, two big developments that one needs to look at, because, what I'm getting to understand also where the TMC is coming in, they're going all in for Meghalaya. They actually feel they could have a chance. They are the principal opposition. Where Tripura is concerned, Rahul, the sheer fact that they don't have an alliance yet, despite of the likes of Sushmita, they're practically camping out in Tripura over the last couple of months. What would be interesting in Tripura would be once arch rivals, the left and the Congress, coming together. So the chances of in Meghalaya, TMC, and what comes of the left Congress alliance in Tripura?
You see, I'm not surprised. Nobody should be surprised at the left and the Congress coming together. They've done it in Bengal, much to their peril, of course. The fact remains that right now both of them are fighting for survival. And if you see the left today, for example, they are together in Tripura, but today at the political event organized by KCR, the Chief Minister of Telangana, you found that the left is becoming part of a anti-BJP, anti-Congress formation in Telangana, which is perhaps has national ambitions. So yes, that alliance doesn't matter. Interestingly, Sushmita Deb presents on behalf of the TMC is interesting. Remember, her father, Mr. Santosh Mohan Deb, was elected from Tripura West twice, 1989, 1991, and he is one of the rare members of parliament who have been elected from two states, Silchar in Bengal and in Assam, and from Tripura West in 89, 91. She is creating a big push for the party, but the fact remains that I think the biggest news is going to be that if there is going to be the Motha, the tribals tie up with the Congress and the left parties. If that happens, I think that will be the formation to look out for in Tripura, and the BJP stronghold, which it had gained last time around, I think would slip away.
Well, it's interesting, and I would reckon another big player that we haven't quite spoken of, and Afrida, I'll bring you in on this. He might have nothing to do with the three states, but everything to do with them, especially where maneuvering and permutations, combinations are concerned, and that is Himanta Biswa Sarma.
See, he is from the NEDA and he plays a big role in the Northeast. As far as Himanta Biswa Sarma is concerned, he is considered to be the super CM of the Northeast. And yes, of course, he has a very big role to play in Nagaland, Meghalaya and Tripura elections so far, because he is the one of the he is considered to be the Sanakya in the last assembly elections in Tripura, and also in the Nagaland also regarding the peace talk and all those things. Himanta Biswa Sarma is closely involved in all this, being the leader of the NEDA, and also in the Meghalaya. It seems that the Conrad Sangma is a very good friend of Himanta Biswa Sarma, but right now the Conrad Sangma has decided to go alone in this assembly elections.
You know, if you stay with me, Rahul Srivastava, who is not a good friend of Himanta Biswa Sarma. Conrad Sangma is a great friend of Himanta Biswa Sarma. If I'm not wrong, Sushmita Deb rumored to be very, very close to Himanta Biswa Sarma. Half of the proverbial opposition to the BJP is very good friends with Himanta Biswa Sarma when it comes down to the Northeast.
See, so much so that, Preeti, that you're right, that he has become one of the most trusted men in the BJP when it means that you are trying to hijack some MLAs of rival parties and taking them over. I think Himanta Biswa Sarma has made his mark in the party, and when I come to think of it, that who is not friends with Himanta Biswa Sarma in the opposition could well be the last dog he had talked about when he went to meet some political party leader.
But, I want to bring in Rajdeep Sardesai as well, our consulting editor who's also joining us. Rajdeep, we've spoken ad nauseum about the factors of in Meghalaya, when it comes down to Tripura, when it comes down to Nagaland. But ultimately, if one has to look at it, the biggest factor of it all, and do you reckon, because Afrida is also smiling on the same, is the fact of Himanta Biswa Sarma?
Look, Himanta Biswa Sarma is undoubtedly someone who has acquired this image of a Northeast Chanakya. But let's also not forget that Conrad Sangma is not fighting this election with the BJP. So there are, in Meghalaya, there are dissensions within the alliance in Tripura as well. Even in Nagaland, there have been concerns over seat sharing. So while Himanta Biswa Sarma is seen as the potential kingmaker, let's not forget that when a political party plays big brother, as the BJP is now in the Northeast, as the Congress used to in the past when they were in power in the center, there can be resistance at times from regional parties. The issue in the Northeast, Preeti, is that most of these assemblies are small assemblies. Therefore, even if a party gets a couple of seats, sometimes 5-6 seats, they can hold the balance of power. And that's where the BJP and Himanta Biswa Sarma can play a role, because let's be honest, the BJP today has the resources, especially from being in power at the center, to influence the final seat sharing, the final government formation in these states. You will recall in Manipur in 2017, the Congress was the single largest party, the BJP formed a government. You will recall in Meghalaya, last time the Congress was the single largest party, the NPP formed a government with the BJP. So I think you've got to recognize that Himanta Biswa Sarma is also a creation of the environment in which the Northeast operates, where every political party is looking to strike deals with the center. And because the BJP is in power in the center, it becomes much easier for the BJP to do this, Nagaland being a classic example. You had asked me earlier before the press conference which states I would look at carefully, and the reason I had said Meghalaya and Tripura, because I think there you have the Trinamool Congress also in the fray in both these states, and you have the Congress and the left trying to strike an alliance in Tripura. And I think that changes the equations a bit. The BJP will make every effort to retain Tripura. And let's be clear, till about 10 years ago, the BJP was virtually nowhere in most of the states of the Northeast. Now it's the Congress which is virtually non-existent. So I think times have changed, and Himanta Biswa Sarma was in the Congress 10 years ago, and today he's with the BJP. And that, in a sense, that shift of Himanta Biswa Sarma really reflects the power shift of the Northeast, where the BJP today increasingly calls the shots.
Well, stay with me, Rajdeep. We're going to come back right to you. But Afrida, do you concur, where the role of Himanta Biswa Sarma is concerned? Because we've spoken about various factors. But do you concur with what Rajdeep had to say?
See, today only I spoke to Lanil Kohli, who is Nagaland in charge of the BJP party. He said that regarding the seat sharing, although the Nagaland state BJP wants 50-50 with NDPP, but he said that already the Himanta Biswa Sarma and also the Amit Shah ji has announced that they will go with the earlier arrangement. So seat sharing has already been solved in Nagaland. So they will go by the earlier arrangements with the 40 and 20. 40 with the NDPP and BJP. They will vote in the 26.
So even before the results are out, Afrida, seat sharing has already been sorted, and practically, because Nagaland, understandably, because there is no opposition, seems to be a done deal.
Yes, seat sharing has already been sorted in Nagaland.
All right, okay, Afid, I'm running a bit short of time. I'm going to come right back to you. Do stay with us, as well as Rahul Srivastav, Rajdeep Sardesai, giving their perspective as 3 states get ready for elections. Because the first of the 3 states of the 9 that are going to elections in what is touted to be a super political over before the big one when it comes out to 2024. And these 3 states, Nagaland, Meghalaya, go to polls on the 27th of February. 10 days earlier is Tripura on the 16th of February, counting for all 3 states on the 2nd of March. Trust India today to get you the ringside view, or rather the front row seats to this political thriller as it carries on with these 3 states going to polls in March. Of course, the results coming in March, going to polls in Feb, and very quickly right after, Karnataka comes up. Stay with us. Continuous coverage on India Today.
The men and women who built Indian industry, and the young guns who are shaping tomorrow's India. From storied careers to unicorn dreams.
The equity market is a dynamic space that needs sharper insights and perfect timing. What stock, what fund, what to pick and what to sell.
How do you make money on the markets? And what are the superior strategies for a winning portfolio?
Your questions answered by 30 years
of undisputed leadership.
Only at the Market Today Summit.
Saif Ali Khan and Amrita Singh's son Ibrahim Ali Khan is all set to debut as an actor after assisting Karan Johar on his next Rocky Aur Rani Ki Prem Kahani. He has reportedly been roped in to play an important role in the Hindi remake of Hridyam. The making rights of the same have been backed by Karan Johar.
അത്രയ്ക്ക് ഇഷ്ടമാണ് നിനക്ക് അവനെ? ചേച്ചി അവൻ മുത്താണ്.
Meanwhile, visuals of Ibrahim partying, going out with friends, or just making red carpet appearances keep surfacing online. Now, Amir Khan and Reena Datta's son Junaid is also among those who will be fulfilling his dreams of becoming an actor with his debut film Maharaja. It is reported that he will be romancing Bunty or Bubbly 2 fame actor Sharvari Wagh in this Siddharth P. Malhotra's film. So it surely will be an interesting year for these kids. Entertainment Bureau, India Today.
Want to understand that your report every year seems to suggest inequality is widening, and a lot of critics of your report are contrasting it with the IMF report, which actually says extreme poverty has come down because of government welfare schemes like free ration. That you're looking at only concentration of wealth in the hands of a few, but what you're not seeing is also that poverty, according to the IMF report, has actually come down. How do you respond?
Thank you, Rajdeep, for inviting me. And let me say that, this report is about the growing inequality. And you have cited some figures, but let me also just talk of one more figure. And I think it's critical. If you look at the last 1 decade, and first let me quote the global data, 50% of the new wealth created actually went to the top 1%. In the last 2 years of the pandemic, 2/3 of this newly created wealth went to the top 1%. And it's not very different for India. 40% of this wealth went to the top 1%, whereas the bottom 50% got only 3%. So I think it's important to recognize that inequality has risen, and it is something that we can see through data and also in our day-to-day interactions in the world. So I think it's very important to actually look at the causes of inequality. Our report is to say that inequality is growing and we need to directly address the question of inequality. That's the central message, that we cannot do away, we cannot look away and say that inequality is a non-issue. We need to focus on inequality, and there are ways of addressing it. This is something which is not good for the future of this country.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
You are watching India Today.
And a mega show of opposition unity in Telangana. BRS Chief K. Chandrasekhar Rao is going to be addressing a huge rally in Khammam. Several opposition leaders, including Aam Aadmi Party Chief and Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann, Samajwadi Party Chief Akhilesh Yadav, Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan and CPI General Secretary D. Raja are also going to be attending KCR's event as chief guests. KCR, along with his guests, visited Lord Lakshmi Narasimha Swamy at Yadagiri Gutta. However, several leaders are not part of this show. TMC Chief Mamata Banerjee, Shiv Sena's Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray, NCP's Sharad Pawar and several other prominent opposition leaders are not attending this particular event. Remember, just last year, KCR met these leaders in connection to his bid for a non-Congress opposition front. Yet the biggest event of KCR's party after changing the name to BRS is not being attended by him. KCR has declared his central theme Ab Ki Baar Kisan Sarkar, and he's going to be carrying forward the plight of the farmers as the main issue in this rally.
this public meeting definitely would be an eye opener to the change in the politics at the national level under the leadership of KCR Garu, and obviously the characteristic of all these leaders are they are non-Congress, non-BJP leaders who are going to be present on the dais, and this public meeting would definitely throw light on the national media and also the national interest part, what KCR exactly wants to tell the nation about BRS party and his role in the future in national politics.
Finance Minister is made an in charge for this public meeting. That itself clearly shows that they want to manage the show with the help of the money which comes from all illegal activities. This is only a publicity stunt. Apart from that, nothing is there.
It doesn't even showcase any strength at this point of time. As we see, this is a validation exercise of KCR to ensure that his newly formed party, which has changed its name from TRS to BRS, stands validated. But however, it looks like it has failed already because there
Alright, so the location, they've arrived there. It's Khammam in Telangana. First up visuals on your screens, viewers. First on India Today. This is an exclusive news break we're bringing to you. No other channel has these visuals. This is a mega show, as I mentioned earlier, of opposition strength, of opposition unity. This is all happening in Telangana. BRS chief KCR, that is K. Chandrasekhar Rao, is going to be addressing a huge rally any moment now. You will have that address with him shortly. We'll cut live to it and get you all the latest details. There have been several opposition leaders who are a part of it. I could see Arvind Kejriwal, and there are many more. Let's get those visuals to know who all have arrived right there. You can see K. Chandrasekhar Rao at the moment on your screens, the one who's waving to the crowds at the moment. He's being flanked by several opposition leaders. You can see right there on your screens. We'll bring you those visuals too in terms of who all are present at the moment. But as far as the agenda is concerned, Aam Aadmi Party Chief Arvind Kejriwal, Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann, Akhilesh Yadav, I saw him earlier. Yeah, there you go. Akhilesh Yadav also on the podium right there. Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan. You've got CPI General Secretary D. Raja. All of them attending KCR's event. All of them are chief guests at this particular event. He also visited a temple along with his guests earlier today, and what's interesting is that there you go, Bhagwant Mann on your screens right there, but several opposition leaders are not attending this event. You can see Bhagwant Mann along with Pinarayi Vijayan, Akhilesh Yadav, KCR, all of them on the stage at the moment. There are many opposition leaders, in fact, who are not a part of this mega show. In fact, the big one, TMC Chief Mamata Banerjee, not a part of this. Shiv Sena Chief Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray, not a part of this. Sharad Pawar, not a part of this as well. There are many other prominent opposition leaders not attending this event, and big questions arising on why are they not attending this event. Last year, remember, KCR also met these leaders in connection to his bid for a non-Congress opposition front. Listen into what's going on right there.
Jai BRS, Jai KCR, Desh ki Neta, KCR, Desh ki Neta, KCR, Jai BRS, Jai BRS, Bolo Swatantra Bharat ki, Jai, Jai Bharat, Jai Bharat.
There you go, huge strength of the opposition party leaders, and on your screens you can see Arvind Kejriwal, Pinarayi Vijayan, you can see KCR, you can see Bhagwant Mann, Akhilesh Yadav. What's interesting here is that there are several opposition leaders of prominence who are not a part of this mega show of strength, and I think KCR is about to speak. Can we listen in?
రాజకీయ కురువృద్ధులు భీష్మాచార్యుల వంటి
I request the producers to get somebody to translate what he's saying.
రాష్ట్రాన్ని తన అద్భుతమైన పరిపాలనతో చరిత్రలో లేని విధంగా రెండవసారి కూడా సిపిఎం పార్టీని విజయ తీరాల వైపు చేర్చి భారతదేశంలోనే అత్యంత సీనియర్గా ఉన్నటువంటి గౌరవనీయులు పెద్దలు కేరళ ముఖ్యమంత్రి గారు శ్రీ విజయన్ గారిని ప్రసంగించవలసిందిగా మనందరి తరఫున నేను విజ్ఞప్తి చేస్తా ఉన్నాను.
Live and first here on India Today. There you go.
Sisters
Pinarayi
and
Vijayan
brothers.
addressing the crowd now.
This Mammoth rally is being held at a time when the basic tenets of our constitution are facing a series of threats from the people who are at the helm of affairs at the center. At the outset, I congratulate the Chief Minister of Telangana for taking the initiative to have this sort of a people's movement and to involve the like-minded CMs and leaders of various states in this great endeavor, meant for the future of the people of this country. On this very same day, a newly built collectorate for the district of Khammam and the second phase of Kandivalak, the universal eye screening program organized by the state government of Telangana, have been inaugurated. This needs special mention because through them, at one stroke itself, the state government is improving governance as well as public services so as to better the lives of the people of Telangana. Let me state that Kerala and its people are with the state government of Telangana in all their pro-people initiatives. I have come to understand that decentralization of governance has been a hallmark of KCR Garu's administration. During the tenure of his government, collectorates have become state-of-the-art integrated district office complexes. All district departments are co-located in them for the convenience of people. And as far as the Kandivalak program goes, no such mass eye testing program has been conducted in the history of our country. Kandivalak means light for the eyes, or a torchlight showing the path. Today, with this public meeting, we are showing the path forward for the nation. It is a matter of great pride to once again be here in Telangana, the land of people's struggles. It is the heroic struggle of the peasants of Telangana in the late 1940s which placed the issue of land reforms on the agenda of the country. Several such people's struggles taking up diverse issues were waged as part of our glorious national movement. It is subsequent to centuries-long such struggles that our country won its freedom from the colonizers. However, today we have a peculiar situation in which a political formation that was not part of our national freedom struggle is in power in the country. The followers of those who tendered unconditional apologies to the colonizers and promised to serve the imperial crown are at the helm of affairs today. They have been and remain antagonistic to the values of our anti-colonial struggle. Ideas such as secularism, democracy, federal structure, social justice, and equality were championed through it, and subsequently they were included in India's constitution so as to uphold the values championed by our freedom struggle. Since those in power now were not part of our collective struggles then, they do not know the values on which India has been built as a sovereign, democratic republic. So, they seek to alter the basic structures on which our modern nation has been built, even as they call for celebrations such as Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav to commemorate the 75th anniversary of India's independence. Amidst the glam and glitter of these celebrations, they seek to undo the very foundations of our country, our democracy, and our constitution. Our constitution starts with the preamble in which we have enshrined the basic values that we uphold as Indians: sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, republic, justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. By signing various international defense agreements, they go against the concept of sovereignty. By allowing the concentration of wealth through consistent appeasement of corporates, they go against the concept of socialism. By seeking to replace parliamentary democracy with presidential form of governance, they go against the concept of democracy. By enacting laws which divide the people on communal lines, as in the case of the Citizenship Amendment Act, they thwart the concept of secularism. After the preamble comes part 1, in which we define India. It states, India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of states. The states are the basic units of India, our country. It is the union of states that creates India, our country. That is why India has a federal structure. Yet those in power think that we are a unitary state. We need to remember that their predecessors had promised to declare India as a unitary state in their manifesto published in the run-up to the 4th general election held in India in 1967. The union government is consciously trying to destroy the country's federal structure. Repeatedly, laws are being enacted by the parliament on subjects in the state list in the constitution, be it law and order, agriculture, cooperation, power, or so on. Bills that infringe upon the rights of the states are being enacted into laws, even without seeking the opinion of state governments. Even while entering into international agreements that affect the states, the union government does not inform state governments, let alone seek their consent. Slogans such as one nation, one tax, one nation, one uniform, one nation, one election are all attacks on federal structure. When states try to mobilize resources through additional alternative sources, the union intervenes and sabotages such moves. On the one hand, the right to avail loan is curbed, and on the other, the additional resources are sealed. Along with this, the funds that are made available to the state by the Constitution too are denied. Such attacks are most acute in the states that are ruled by governments that are opposed to the BJP-RSS combine ruling the union. We are seeing it in Telangana as well as in Kerala. Attacks against the states' rights and powers are being carried out even by politically misusing the office of governor. Widespread efforts are on to take control of the higher education sector through the governors in their capacity as chancellors. Assent to legislations that have been enacted by the state legislatures are being withheld. Such affronts on the supremacy of state legislatures weaken not just our federal structure, but even our democracy too. Democracy should be protected if the values that we fought for are to be secured. We do not have any option but to resist these moves more unitedly. The weakening of our parliamentary democracy is evident in the way in which our parliamentary norms and precedents are being bulldozed. Bills are being passed without adequate discussions or calling for division in the parliament, and this weakens our parliamentary democracy. All ethics and norms of democracy are being violated. Governments that have come to power in the states by winning a majority in the assembly elections are being toppled through horse trading. Such unethical efforts to form governments in the states weaken the very foundations of our democracy, which is based on a multi-party system. Such a multi-party system is essential if we are to preserve and promote our diversities while remaining united as one. Unity in diversity is the most cherished of India's ideals. It is what has defined us as a nation right from the days of our freedom struggle. India's varied languages are the expressions of our diversities. Our mother tongues are part of our cultural identities. However, efforts are on to portray Hindi as the national language while sidelining all our native languages, be it Telugu or Tamil or Kannada or Malayalam or Bengali or Odia or Assamese or Punjabi or Urdu or Gujarati or Kashmiri and so on. Imposing Hindi by doing away with our mother tongues will affect the integrity of the nation. Even the independence of our judiciary is being attacked. The statement of the 2.2% to 0.8% infrastructure sector has declined from the statement of the law minister to the effect that the union government should have a decisive say in the appointment of judges goes to prove that the BJP government is hell-bent on destroying judicial autonomy and to subvert the judiciary into a nominated body of the union government. The Chief Justice himself has resisted the move, and it is commendable that the judiciary in general and the Supreme Court in particular have taken a firm stand, keeping the spirit of the independence of judiciary high. Not merely members of the Union Cabinet, but even the nominees are trying to meddle with the autonomy of the judiciary. Last week, the Vice President attacked the Supreme Court for striking down the NJSC Act of 2015. He even went on to say that he does not agree with the restriction imposed by the Supreme Court, which ensures that the Parliament cannot amend the basic structure of the Constitution. It is
All right, we'll continue bringing you all the latest updates right there. And of course, the big one, of course, being the prominent opposition leaders who are amiss from that to bring you all of this and much more in moments from now, slipping into a very short commercial break right here on India Today. Stay with us.
You are watching India Today.
Give us your sense of what's happening inside China.
Great to be here with you, Rahul. You know, a lot of people here from different parts of the world have been concerned about China. And of course, being our close neighbors, we're watching how the situation unravels. India, because of its excellent vaccine coverage and the herd immunity, because we allowed infections to spread like other countries and didn't have a zero COVID policy after the initial lockdowns, India, along with other countries, are in a far better situation. Do I fear, this sort of thing happening in India again, like what's happening in China? I don't think so, because, as I mentioned, our vaccine has been very effective and the coverage has been very effective. China, sadly, has not had both of those situations pan out, and we just pray and hope that they solve their issue. In fact, I was talking to some people to try and offer the Western vaccines and Indian vaccines to them as boosters, so they can control their hospitalizations and come out of even spreading the infection.
Are the Chinese interested in your vaccine?
I've requested them to put political issues aside and just look at the bigger picture, because, for the world, it's important that China comes back also. And we just wish them the best in a speedy recovery, because if you look at supply chain disruptions, investments, uncertainty, people are still a little uncertain to make investments in this part of the world because of what's happening there. But of course, given that you've seen the response here, India is definitely by far the most reliable and chosen destination for investors. And given the choice, of course, India stands far ahead.
I started by asking Adar about what's happening in China, because what's happening in China from a health emergency perspective also is potentially one of the biggest opportunities for India as global companies realign their supply chains. To what extent do you think at this moment, in the way things are, is India being able to benefit from the idea that companies need to look beyond China in this China plus one strategy of theirs?
I think that's playing out quite favorably for India, because the aftershocks of what just happened in China, but also what's happened in Ukraine and Russia, has made organizations, global companies look at de-risking supply chains. It's no longer about cost optimization, but about resilience, managing risks, etc. So when they're looking at another place beyond China, obviously there are other contenders. But India is special because India is not just a source, it can also be a market. And with the PLI schemes and the government trying to do more to attract investments, there is certainly a strong case for investments to come into India, which you've seen in electronics and traditionally areas where we've not seen so much of investments. So I think it's a good time for India.
Heaters and blankets inside cages. This is how Lucknow's Nawab Wajid Ali Shah Zoological Garden is protecting its animals from the cold wave that has swept North India. The zoo administration has also placed hay grass inside the cages of tigers, lions and bears. Heaters are placed in the cages of reptiles as they need constant heat to maintain their body temperatures. Apart from keeping the animals warm, zoo authorities say special winter diet is being followed for animals.
जो हमारे बाड़े हैं उनमें जहाँ जहाँ जालियाँ लगी हुई हैं और जहाँ से हवा तेज़ी से पास होने की संभावना होती है वहाँ पर हम लोगों ने पॉलीथीन लगाया है। जिन बाड़ों में हीटर की ज़रूरत है वहाँ पर हमने जानवरों के लिए हीटर लगाए हैं। इसके अलावा हिरन प्रजाति के लिए व्यापक रूप से पुआल की व्यवस्था की गई है जिस पर वो लेटते भी हैं और उसको खाते भी हैं।
The harsh winter is unbearable for many of these animals, but the zoo initiative has made life a bit easier for them.
लखनऊ के चिड़ियाघर में क्या किए गए हैं इंतजाम। ठंड आप सभी को मुबारक, पर उस ठंड के साथ साथ सेहत का ध्यान रखना भी शायद बेहद ज़रूरी है। फिर चाहे हम इंसान हो और चाहे चिड़ियाघर या बाहर रहने वाले तमाम जानवर और पक्षी।
With Samad Srivastava from Lucknow, Bureau Report, India Today.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
You're watching an India Today special broadcast being brought to you from the stunning ski resort of Clusters, Davos.
The 53rd World Economic Forum is back at the snow-clad slopes of Davos. The smartest minds gather to debate the world's biggest challenges: energy crisis, industry headwinds, geopolitical risks, social vulnerabilities. India Today and Business Today are at ground zero to bring you all the action. Catch top corporate tycoons, politicians and intellectuals as they discuss cooperation in a fragmented world. Watch the Davos brainstorm only on India Today and Business Today TV.
You are watching India Today.
जी पंजाब के मुख्यमंत्री श्री भगवत मान जी, सीपीआई के जनरल सेक्रेटरी आदरणीय डी राजा जी और मंच पर उपस्थित सभी बीआरएस पार्टी के सभी वरिष्ठ नेता, यहाँ पर इस सभा में उपस्थित बीआरएस पार्टी के संगठन के सभी पदाधिकारी, मिनिस्टर्स, सांसद, विधायक, सभी नेता और बड़ी संख्या में, जहां तक मैं देख सकता हूं मुझे लोग ही लोग दिखाई दे रहे हैं, सर दिखाई दे रहे हैं। मैं अगर बाईं तरफ देखता हूं मुझे लोग ही लोग दिखाई दे रहे हैं, सर दिख रहे हैं। दाईं तरफ देखता हूं तो सर दिखाई दे रहे हैं। और मैं जब सामने देखता हूं, जहां तक देख सकता हूं वहां तक मुझे लोग दिखाई दे रहे हैं। मैं इस ऐतिहासिक धरती पर, खम्मम की ऐतिहासिक धरती पर, मैं आदरणीय केसीआर साहब का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद और आभार प्रकट करता हूं कि यहां पर इतनी बड़ी संख्या में आपने बुला करके पूरे देश को एक संदेश देने का काम किया है। आज सुबह से लगातार हम लोग काम देख रहे हैं। मैं सामने जहां पर बिल्डिंग में हम लोग बैठे थे, ये इंटीग्रेटेड जो ऑफिस बनी है, कॉम्प्लेक्स बना है, एक ये उदाहरण है सरकारों के लिए कि एक जगह कैसे अधिकारी बैठ सकते हैं और जनता को तकलीफ और परेशानी नहीं होगी, एक ही जगह पर समस्या का समाधान हो जाएगा। ये खम्मम वो धरती है जिसने हमेशा इतिहास बनाने का काम किया है। यहां के लोगों ने बड़ी से बड़ी हुकूमत रही होंगी, ताकतें रही होंगी, उनके खिलाफ अपनी आवाज उठाने का काम किया है। यहां के किसान, यहां के नौजवान, अगर किसान कभी इकट्ठे हुए हैं और अपनी आवाज को बुलंद करना पड़ा होगा, तो यहां के किसान इकट्ठे होकर के अपनी आवाज बुलंद कर करके उस समय की हुकूमत को हिला के रख दिया। मुझे उम्मीद है कि आने वाले समय में जो हालात हैं देश के, जिन परिस्थितियों से हम लोग गुजर रहे हैं, जहां भारत सरकार और खासकर भारतीय जनता पार्टी, जिसकी सरकार दिल्ली में है, एक एक सरकारें जो चुनी हुई उनको परेशान कर रही है। चाहे वो आपकी सरकार हो और चाहे आपके बीआरएस की पार्टी की सरकार हो, जो सहयोग और जो मदद और जो लोकतंत्र में सम्मान मिलना चाहिए वो सरकार सम्मान नहीं दे पा रही है। समय समय पर रुकावट कैसे पैदा हो, नेताओं को कैसे परेशान किया जाए, उनके खिलाफ क्या साजिश की जाए, उनके विपक्ष के लोग जो उनके सामने खड़े होकर के सवाल पूछते हैं, उनको किस षड्यंत्र से उनको दबाया जाए, उनकी छवि कैसे खराब की जाए, ये भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सोची समझी सी रणनीति के तहत काम कर रहे हैं। जो संस्थाएं हमें न्याय देना चाहती हैं, जहां से हम न्याय के लिए पुकार सकते हैं, उन संस्थाओं को भी दबाव बनाने का काम अगर कोई कर रहा है तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी कर रही है। अभी कल ही भारतीय जनता पार्टी की मीटिंग खत्म हुई है और उन्होंने कहा कि 400 दिन बाकी हैं। हमें तो लगता था कि ये सरकार तो वो है जो दावा करती थी कि हटेगी नहीं, अब तो वो स्वयं स्वीकार कर रही है कि अब 400 दिन हैं। जो सरकार अपने दिन गिनने लगे, जो सरकार अपने दिन बताने लगे, समझ लो ये 400 दिन बाद सरकार रुकने वाली नहीं है। अब तो 399 दिन बचे हैं। और जैसा कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी का समय समय पर जो बुनियादी मुद्दे हैं कि महंगाई कैसे कम हो, बेरोजगारी कैसे कम हो, हमारे लोग जो भारत छोड़ करके चले जा रहे हैं, कुछ लोग तो अपनी खुशहाली के लिए जा रहे हैं, लेकिन बड़ी संख्या में लाखों लोग ऐसे हैं जो धन दौलत उनके पास है, वो इस देश में रहना नहीं चाहते क्योंकि ये सरकार उनको रहना नहीं देना चाहती। इनके पास बुनियादी ठोस मुद्दे जो किसान की जरूरत के वो नहीं पूरे कर रहे हैं। आपको सबको याद होगा, यही बीजेपी के लोगों ने कहा कि हम किसानों की आय 2022 तक दोगुनी कर देंगे।
Co-presented by Panasonic, Create Today, Enrich Tomorrow. Co-presented by Reliance Digital, टेक्नोलॉजी से रिश्ता जोड़ो।
And the big interview coming in from Davos. As his father holds a mega opposition show of strength in Khammam, KCR's son and Telangana Minister K.T. Ramarao is in Davos. He spoke to news director Rahul Kanwal on BRS national ambitions and, more importantly, the battle for 2024. Here's a look.
The one Indian state that's making a big splash here at the World Economic Forum in Davos is Telangana, being represented by a fifth-time Davos man, K.T. Ramarao. Welcome once again. It's great to have you back with us on India Today and Business Today. I want to start by asking you, KTR, about what Telangana has managed to achieve out of the World Economic Forum in Davos this year.
Well, Rahul, firstly, as you would understand, obviously you're a Davos veteran as well now. Relationships, especially when it comes to investment decisions, do not happen overnight. So they have to be nurtured. They have to be, basically handheld properly. So what Davos gives you, what the World Economic Forum gives you, is of course insights into what is happening across the world in various countries, and it also gives you insights into the most important things plaguing the world at large. But again, from my perspective as a Minister for Industry, Commerce, Information Technology, it gives me an opportunity to connect with the decision makers who take investment decisions in their own respective roles. Now, this time around, we've had significant success because, like I said, we've been meeting these people regularly. We've been, sensitizing them on the opportunities in India and primarily in Telangana. And this time, in fact, we are making some big ticket announcements, and we also have signed some very interesting MOUs. First one I'd like to talk about is the C4IR, the Center for Industrial Revolution focused on life sciences. Rahul, as you know, Hyderabad and Telangana is the life sciences capital of India and also by extension of the world, because we produce 1/3 of global vaccines, 9 billion doses. We also produce 40% of India's pharma. We have India's largest medtech park. So it was only logical that a life sciences center of the World Economic Forum had to be set up in Hyderabad. We're looking forward to some really cutting-edge work there, cell and gene therapy, precision medicine, etc. I really look forward to that because I think that is the next frontier to conquer. Also, a number of other things we can talk about.
No, but you pushed the T-Hub.
Yes.
That was a big passion project of yours. What are the key deliverables the T-Hub has actually managed to land so far? What's come out of the T-Hub?
Well, firstly, I'd say, T-Hub, when we conceptualized it, imagined it, back in 2014, the idea was to spur the innovation ecosystem and the government playing the role of an enabler. Today, T-Hub has not only created 57 other co-working spaces / incubators in the country. Yesterday, in fact, Startup India awarded it as the best incubator in the country. It's the world's largest incubator, technology incubator, with almost 500,000 square foot of space. Under one roof, you can have 2,000 startups working from. You have mentorship, you have venture capital access, you have access to all the regulators, and incorporating, innovating, and basically incubating. All three aspects covered. The biggest outcome of T-Hub, if you ask me, is the impact that it has been able to create. The first space tech company from India which sent a rocket into space is a T-Hub incubator called Skyroot. Another company from Hyderabad, again, which came out of the startup ecosystem, is Dhruva, which sent nanosatellites into the orbit. So the kind of frontiers these young guys are conquering is extremely heartening, and of course, I'm looking forward to more and more unicorns and sunicorns coming out of T-Hub as well.
When it comes to the level of competitiveness between Indian states, the one thing Karnataka likes to point out frequently is that they get much more foreign direct investment than Telangana does. Despite the efforts that you're making, why is Hyderabad losing out to Bengaluru?
Well, I would say that is a misconception, because last year, according to NASSCOM, out of the 450,000 new jobs created in information technology, 150,000 came from Hyderabad. 146 were created in Bangalore. So the real numbers that matter are employment, and I would be happy to argue with my counterparts in Karnataka and elsewhere. The fact is, Hyderabad now contributes to 1/3 of IT jobs created in India. Our IT exports have gone through the roof from 57,000 crores in 2014 to 1,83,000 crores last year. So we are growing much higher than national average and much more than Bangalore as well. But my competition is not with Bangalore. In fact, I love Bangalore as a city. It's a city that I've actually visited very frequently. I have nothing against them. But the only thing is, of course, they've had a lot of first mover advantage. They started in the 80s. We started in 2000. So we're playing catch up. We're the Pepsi, they're the Coke. So we continue to play catch up. But my best wishes to them, in beating us and moving further up in the employment numbers as well.
How much does the relationship between the state of Telangana and the center, being fractious in the way that it is, impact your hopes of trying to develop Telangana economically the way you want?
If I have to sum it up in one word, one sentence, if the rest of India performed as well as Telangana did, we would have been a 5 trillion economy already. Because, you know, our per capita was 1,24,000 rupees in 2014. With tenacious efforts, we've achieved 2,78,000 as of last year, which is the highest in the country for any state. That tells you how well we performed. Our GSDP was 5 lakh crores 2014. It was 11.55 lakh crores last year. Our growth rate is the highest in the country, 15% CAGR. Now, if the rest of India performed as well as we did, we would have been a 5 trillion economy, and despite COVID, despite demonetization, despite an inimical union government, despite all this, we have done this. Had there been support, like you were saying, we would have grown even faster.
But while you're highlighting the gross state domestic product numbers, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman was in Telangana recently, and she highlighted the high level of indebtedness, saying that each child is born with a debt of 1.25 lakh rupees on his head. The union government seems to think you and your government are taking Telangana towards financial ruin through public indebtedness.
Rahul, in fact, Mrs. Sitharaman should correct herself, because I think she was talking about India's debt and not Telangana's debt, because India's debt prior to Narendra Modi ji was 56 lakh crores. Between the 14 prime ministers before Modi ji, the complete debt of India, the national debt, was 56 lakh crores. One Modi ji, in the last 8.5 years, has raised India's debt single-handedly. He added another 100 lakh crores. So today India's debt is about 156 lakh crores. The per child 1,25,000 rupees she was talking about is pan-India, and that is primarily thanks to Nirmala Sitharaman and Narendra Modi ji. And the other thing I also want to point out... She gave the numbers for Telangana. No, I'll tell you.
Okay.
The other thing I also want to talk about is, we are guided by FRBM Act. Since when did the centre respect FRBM Act? Ever since it was formulated or promulgated in 2003 or 4 as an act, the centre has flouted it 19 times in the last 19 years. Let me tell you, as a state, of course we work under the larger rubric of India, so therefore we have no choice but to comply with the FRBM regulations. And they try and squeeze us once in a while, almost imposing sanctions like we're an enemy state or something. The point is, squeezing us dry and then calling us out saying you're doing something wrong is rather imbecile.
How are you being squeezed dry? Because you get your fair share of GST collections, for example, and all of what the centre has to give to the state. So how are you accusing the centre of squeezing you dry, Kitia?
Well, two things. Firstly, Telangana has contributed 3,68,000 crores to the union kitty in the last 8.5 years. What we get back in the form of devolution and others is only 1,68,000 crores. So we contribute more to the nation than what we get back. But we don't have any grouse against it. We are not saying we should get back every single rupee and more. But when Nirmala Sitharaman comes to Telangana and says, PDS के दुकान में मोदी जी का तस्वीर क्यों नहीं लगाया, तो मैं भी पूछ सकता हूँ, पूरे हिंदुस्तान में तेलंगाना को थैंक्स कहते हुए आप भी लगा दो बोर्ड, क्योंकि हम 2 लाख करोड़ हमने contribute किया. She doesn't want to say answer that. The other thing I also wanted to point out, see, we are guided by FRBM regulations. My debt GSDP is only 24%. India's national debt, GDP versus debt ratio is 65%. So who's she preaching? Somebody who's actually performing far worse than us. Somebody who's actually, given this country the highest inflation in 45 years, the highest unemployment in 30 years, comes and preaches to us, and with 100 lakh crore debt, comes and preaches fiscal prudence to us.
No, but
it's a joke.
Let's look at the RBI.
And how else are we being squeezed? The debt that is raised by the corporations in Telangana, state-owned corporation, is also unfortunately now rules are being redrafted, midway that is. Now they're saying even the corporation debt has to be factored under FRBM, and therefore the state's borrowings have to be curtailed. So this sort of negative attitude and inimical attitude is only going to hamper the growth of the country. This is exactly why this whole dream that was shown, that 5 trillion economy, has not been fulfilled. 2022 तक हर किसी को घर मिलना था, हर किसी के घर में पानी आना था, हर किसी के पास बुलेट ट्रेन या एक ट्रैवल करने की सुविधा होनी थी, और उन्होंने ये भी कहा था कि 5 ट्रिलियन इकोनॉमी हो जाएगा. क्या हुआ? 2023 में हम लोग बैठे. पूछो निर्मला जी से.
But if you look at the RBI bulletin that came out, it says that for 9 days in October, you actually had an overdraft. Now, a lot of people who look
Why don't we talk about the fiscal deficit of Government of India? Why don't we talk about the 100 lakh crores of Government of India? RBI किसके जरिए काम करती है सबको पता है. RBI क्या लिखती है सबको पता है. इस देश में क्या हो रहा है सबको पता है. Institutions are being abused like never before in the country. CBI, EDs, or ITs, RBIs, every institution literally is at the beck and call of a couple of people in Delhi. So Rahul, please don't give me this whole sanctimonious ceremonial lecture on fiscal prudence and things like that. We are performing far better than the rest of the country, definitely far better than the non-performing alliance in Delhi. So we certainly believe that they have a few things to learn from us and not the other way around.
So I see you started by making your investment pitch, you're very quickly pulling out your political sword as well, and are ready to have a go at Prime Minister Modi. There's a big election coming up.
See, he's the most inefficient, incompetent Prime Minister the country has seen. The reason why I say this is very simple. Because he's single-handedly contributed to India's largest inflation ever. He single-handedly contributed to largest unemployment ever.
But inflation is a global phenomenon. Russia, Ukraine, look at interest.
जब मोदी जी चीफ मिनिस्टर थे, then why did he speak about devaluation of currency? क्या क्या बोला था उन्होंने? आपके रिकॉर्ड में से निकालो. अगर तब वो सही थे, अब गलत है क्या हमारा बोलना? तब क्या कहा था उन्होंने? जब डॉलर 60 रुपए पे था, मोदी जी ने लेक्चर दिया कि इनकॉम्पिटेंट गवर्नमेंट है दिल्ली में, नालायक गवर्नमेंट है, करप्ट गवर्नमेंट है. अब कौन है दिल्ली में? तो पिछले 8 साल से तो आप हो. अब नालायक कौन है, करप्ट कौन है? वी आर जस्ट कॉलिंग आउट Prime Minister Modi using Chief Minister Modi's words. I'm not saying anything new. So point I'm trying to make, Rahul, is to lecture others and to give the spiel that I've done something truly out of the ordinary is silly, because numbers say otherwise. He is the most inefficient, incompetent Prime Minister India has seen. The 15 Prime Ministers that we've had. Single-handedly, he's destroyed India's economy by something called demonetization. Let me also remind you, Rahul. Now they might take recourse under COVID. मैं आपको याद दिलाना चाहता हूँ, कोविड से 8 क्वार्टर, कोविड से पहले जो 8 क्वार्टर थे, इकोनॉमी स्लो होते गया, स्लो डाउन से लेके आके लॉकडाउन में गिरा दिया. फिर आज क्या हुआ? नतीजा यह है कि 3 ट्रिलियन. अब उसका भी छोटी सी बात का पतंगड़ बना के बोलते हैं 5th लार्जेस्ट इकोनॉमी.
एंड द फास्टेस्ट ग्रोइंग एज वेल. फास्टेस्ट ग्रोइंग.
बेस लाइन अगर आपका छोटा है तो फास्ट ही तो होगा. बेस ही गलत है आपका तो फास्ट ही होगा. कल रघुराम राजन से मेरी बात हो रही थी. तो पॉइंट इज, राहुल, ये जो आंकड़े दिखा के लोगों को गुमराह करने की जो कोशिश करते हैं, वो चाहे थोड़े लोग उसमें फंस जाएंगे. हम समझाने की कोशिश करेंगे हिंदुस्तान को कि जो बोला जा रहा है, जो दिखाया जा रहा है, गलत है सरासर. ग्लोबल हंगर इंडेक्स में हमारी रैंक क्या है, राहुल? मोदी जी आने से पहले 88 था, आज 107 है. तो क्या बात कर रहे हो? फूड सिक्योरिटी की बात करते हैं, कुछ और बात करते हैं. विच इंडेक्स हैज इंडिया इंप्रूव्ड अंडर मोदी? कैन यू प्लीज टेल मी? कैन यू प्लीज एजुकेट मी? 82 रुपीस है पर डॉलर. फिर क्या हुआ?
ग्लोबल डिवैल्यूएशन ऑफ करेंसी.
तो जब उनका दौर नहीं था, तब ग्लोबल कुछ नहीं था. तब इंडियन गवर्नमेंट वाज करप्ट, इनएफिशिएंट, निनकम्पूप. अभी क्या हो रहा है फिर?
Explain the national ambitions of the BRS. You've changed the name from the TRS to the Bharatiya Rashtriya Samiti. There's a big rally taking place. Arvind Kejriwal, Bhagwant Mann, a lot of opposition leaders there. What's the message the BRS is trying to send to the people of India?
The messaging is very clear. We want India to understand that India and China both had a similar sized economy in 1987. But China is at 16 trillion now, India is languishing at 3 trillion. What went wrong? Despite all the tall dreams that were shown, despite all the nice things that we were told कि 2014 के बाद मैजिक हो जाएगा और देश एकदम अमेरिका जैसा हो जाएगा, अमेरिकन लोग खड़े रहेंगे लाइन में वीसा लेने के लिए इंडिया का, क्या हुआ? आज हिंदुस्तान की क्या हालत है? अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट हो, इन्फ्लेशन हो, जो कोई भी इंडिकेटर ले लो आप, दुनिया में we languish and we are unfortunately not able to seize the moment. The point we are trying to make is this whole polarization tactics which might get you votes will not help the country grow. It will not solve the unemployment problem. That is the agenda we want to set to the country. We want to give the message to our fellow countrymen that if a state like Telangana can perform and grow at 15%, can complete a drinking water connection to each and every home, can give absolutely free power to the farmers across, can give farm input assistance, and can complete the world's largest lift irrigation project in 4 years, why is the country not doing the same elsewhere? This should be the debate. Unemployment, job creation, wealth creation. Unfortunately, वो सब छोड़ के पाकिस्तान को दिखा के, अफगानिस्तान को दिखा के, बांग्लादेश को दिखा के, मुसलमान को दिखा के, माइनॉरिटी को दिखा के उसको दुश्मन बना के जो वोट लेने वाली, वोट हड़पने वाली पोलराइजेशन है, ये सरासर गलत है, हिंदुस्तान के हित में नहीं है.
How feasible is the idea of opposition unity in your mind? Because everybody has their own agenda, they have their own fiefdoms which they want to protect and nurture. Can the opposition truly come together to take on the BJP?
See, stranger things have happened in India before. See, nobody even gave a chance to the opposition in 2004 Everybody thought Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji was invincible. India was shining back then, remember? But the unthinkable has happened. So who knows? And the thing is,
it's something that you want to work very hard towards between now and next.
The narrative. See, Rahul, it's not just about power. It's not just about dislodging somebody. It's about ensuring that the country, in fact, focuses on the right issues. There is no debate on unemployment. There is no debate on inflation. There's no debate on being the country with the largest LPG price in the world. No debate on that. बात करते हैं हम लोग कुछ और चीज की जो अनइम्पोर्टेंट है, इनकॉन्सिक्वेंशियल है. तो हम लोग चाहते हैं कि सही चीज पे चर्चा हो, मीडिया भी हमारी मदद करे थोड़ा बहुत. हमसे हमेशा इसी बात की नहीं कि कोई किसी ने वहां पे एयर इंडिया में ये कर दिया या फलाना जगह कुछ और हो गया.
आपका पूरा इंटरव्यू चल रहा है लाइव, आप ऐसे बोल रहे हैं.
ये तो रिकॉर्ड है. तो
नहीं बट चल रहा है, ऐसे थोड़ी होता है.
राहुल जी क्या दिखाएंगे?
ना क्यों लास्ट टाइम यू सॉ वी रैन द होल इंटरव्यू. ऑफ कोर्स
थैंकफुल टू यू.
नो बट देयर इज आल्सो अ बिग इलेक्शन इन तेलंगाना एंड द बीजेपी थिंक्स बिटवीन द लास्ट इलेक्शन एंड नाउ दे हैव बीन एबल टू गेन ग्राउंड इन तेलंगाना एंड आफ्टर कर्नाटक Telangana will be in the BJP's mind the second state they win.
See, I'm going to go on a limb out here and say that they are also losing Karnataka. They will also lose Telangana. In Telangana last time, out of the 119 assembly seats, they've lost their deposits in 108. So for them to think and say that they've gained a lot of ground. मुझे बचपन में एक सीरियल याद आ रही है, मुंगेरी लाल के हसीन सपने. हाँ, सपने तो सारे देख सकते हैं, गलती कोई नहीं. But the thing is, you also have to get assessment of ground realities. Yes, it is a fact. Congress has lost the plot in Telangana and elsewhere in the country. So they might have these ambitions कि कांग्रेस का जो जगह था हम लोग ले लेंगे, वो शायद हो सकता है. But to think and assume that they'll actually come to rule in Telangana, I'll ask you one simple question. Let any BJP leader answer this across the country. Let them tell me or the people of Telangana one thing that they've done for Telangana. मोदी जी पिछले 6 महीने में गुजरात गए कई बार, 70 बार या 75 बार, पता नहीं, आपको भी याद नहीं होगा. 1,80,000 करोड़ का प्रोजेक्ट अनाउंस किया वहां पे, इतने सारे फाउंडेशन डाल दिए. तेलंगाना में क्या किया उन्होंने? एक काम बताओ, जो प्रॉमिस किया वही नहीं निभाया, तो किस मुंह लेके वोट मांगने आएंगे?
No, but in the recent municipal elections in the area around Hyderabad, they gave your party, the TRS at that time, a real fright, and they think that they have therefore made enough headway to be able to make this a really tight election, a really tightly contested election.
Like I said, Rahul, Congress has lost the plot. If they have gained some ground, it is at the Congress's expense. The TRS still won the corporation election, let me remind you.
Yeah.
And we've won a lot of elections in between the last general election and now. So therefore, सपना कोई भी कुछ भी देख लें, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. लोग, तेलंगाना के जनता जो है, जब तक हमारे साथ हैं, I have a strong feeling that KCR ji will be the first South Indian Chief Minister to do a hat-trick. No Chief Minister in South India has won on 3 consecutive terms on a trot. I think KCR will deliver that.
What do you think of Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra? Went through Telangana as it is through the rest of the state. It seems to have got a good response in Telangana and elsewhere as well, at least as far as people coming out to support him is concerned.
I only have one question to you, Rahul. The thing is, I understand what Mr. Gandhi is trying to do, trying to basically ensure that Congress doesn't just decimate itself and kind of annihilate itself. But the fact is, political decisions and political knack also matters. You're walking across the country. There is an election happening in Gujarat. You bypass the entire state and you're walking in other states. I don't get the logic of it. What will the Congress cadre in Gujarat think? Will they not think that this gentleman has actually completely surrendered himself to Modi ji? The point is, what is the objective of this yatra if it is not giving you any political dividends at the end of the day? भारत जोड़ो ठीक है, पहले कांग्रेस तो जोड़ो. आप चल रहे हो केरला में, आपके 8 MLA गोवा में निकल गए, बीजेपी में शामिल हो गए. किसको जोड़ रहे हो आप? पहले कांग्रेस को तो जोड़ो.
In the national narrative that you're trying to...
Breaking news coming in. There is a protest that is going on between Indian wrestlers and federation officials in the national capital. Listen in.
मीटिंग हुआ है, इतना झगड़ा हुआ है, उसके बाद मेरा और बजरंग का नाम लिस्ट में आया है. रैंकिंग के लिए हमने नाम बोला कि रैंकिंग में प्लीज हमारा नाम डाल दीजिए, क्योंकि हमारा ये सीजन शुरू हुआ है. तो बोल रहे हैं कि आप हमें फिटनेस टेस्ट दो. क्या 10 सालों तक हमने इनफ फिटनेस टेस्ट नहीं दिया है मैट के ऊपर? क्या पीवी सिंधु जब इंजरी के बाद आई है उसने फिटनेस टेस्ट दिया आने से पहले? क्या नीरज चोपड़ा को इंजरी हुई थी, उन्होंने फिटनेस टेस्ट दिया था? हर एक एथलीट इंजरी के बाद आता है तो इतना फिट नहीं रहता है, सबको पता. लेकिन हम वही देखने के लिए तो खेलते हैं ना कि हम कितना फिट हैं, कितना अनफिट हैं.
तो अब आप लोगों की डिमांड्स क्या है? आप चाहते हैं कि प्रेसिडेंट को रिमूव किया जाए या क्या किया जाए? अगर स्पोर्ट्स मिनिस्टर,
देखिए, रिक्वेस्ट कर करके हम थक चुके हैं. कितनी बार रिक्वेस्ट करें, क्योंकि कई साल से चल रहा है ये चीजें. अब हम खिलाड़ियों को कोचेज बोल रहे हैं, फिजियो बोल रहे हैं। विनेश ने बताया टोक्यो ओलंपिक में आप सभी को पता था मेरे नी में इंजरी थी, ओलंपिक तक मेरे पूरा फोकस रहा। सभी अपना क्रेडिट के लिए फेडरेशन ने बहुत मदद करी, क्योंकि हमें बोला जाता है कि फेडरेशन का नाम लीजिए आप, कि आप मदद करी है, ट्वीट करवाते हैं। तो उन्होंने मेरे से ट्वीट करवाया। टोक्यो ओलंपिक के आने के बाद किसी ने पूछा, 6 महीने तक मैंने खुद ट्रेनिंग करी, खुद रिहैब किया, लेकिन किसी ने नहीं पूछा कि आप कैसे कर रहे हो,
डिमांड क्या है।
और वही बता रहा हूँ, अभी कोचेज के लिए बोल रहे हैं, फिजियो के लिए बोल रहे हैं। उन्होंने क्या बोला कि भाई इंडिया में कोई फॉरेनर कोच नहीं आएगा। चलो अच्छी बात है, हमारे कोचेज कमजोर नहीं आएगा, पर अपनी खुद ही पर्सनल एकेडमी में वो फॉरेनर कोच लेके आ रहे हैं, जब हमारे इंडिया में कोच नहीं है। जो पर्सनल चीजें होती हैं उनमें तो वो बेस्ट से बेस्ट करेंगे, और जो खिलाड़ी हैं जिनको चाहिए होता है उनको वो बोला हमारे इंडिया में बेहतर कोच हैं।
डिमांड बताइए बजरंग।
डिमांड यही है कि खिलाड़ी, देखिए ये हमारे साथ हो रहा है, जो कई साल से रिजल्ट दे रहे हैं। हम 2013 से मैं सीनियर कैंप में हूँ, 2012 में आया था, मैं तब से रिजल्ट दे रहा हूँ, और विनय सर भी तब से हैं। तो आज तक हमने कोई ऐसा टूर्नामेंट नहीं किया हमने देश के लिए मेडल ना जीता हो। हमारी डिमांड जो है, हम वो उनको ये नहीं बोल रहे कि हमारा घर बना के दीजिए आप, या हमारे को अच्छी अच्छी गाड़ियाँ दीजिए। जो रेसलिंग के रिलेटेड होती है वही चीजें हम उनसे मांगते हैं, वो हमारी पूरी नहीं हो पाती।
जैसे कि अच्छे कोच जो नेशनल कैंप में जो कोच होते हैं, मैंने इतना रिक्वेस्ट किया अभी चीफ कोच के लिए, जो कोचेज होते हैं वो खुद लड़कियों का शोषण करते हैं, महिला कोचों के साथ में बुरा बर्ताव करते हैं।
ये जो बात आप कह रही हैं विनेश जी, शोषण वाली, ये आपके जानकारी में कुछ ऐसा आया है?
मैं
नेशनल कैंप है, जूनियर्स का है, कोई सीनियर खिलाड़ी है?
नेशनल कैंप्स में जो कोचेज होते हैं, सभी कोच नहीं है उसमें, लेकिन कुछ कोचेज हैं जो फेडरेशन के खास हैं, जो खुद शोषण करते हैं, महिला कोचों के साथ में गलत व्यवहार करते हैं। उसकी मैंने आवाज उठाई है इस बार, और उसके बावजूद भी वही चीफ कोच नेशनल कैंप में लगाए गए हैं।
अच्छा,
हाँ जी,
मतलब
जी।
एक आपने कोचेस की बात बोली, दूसरा और
जी
डिमांड,
और वही कोचेस जो कैंप में लड़कियां होती हैं उनके साथ में बातचीत करवाते हैं लड़कियों की, शोषण करवाने के लिए ही। और अध्यक्ष जी ने खुद पता नहीं कितनी लड़कियों का शोषण किया है आज तक।
आप खुद कह रहे हैं कि उन्होंने सेक्सुअल हैरेसमेंट
आप
किया।
बहुत सारे जो स्पोर्ट्स जर्नलिस्ट हैं उनको पता है, उनके पास कोई प्रूफ नहीं है, कोई बोल नहीं पाता है। बहुत सारे जर्नलिस्ट लोगों ने मैं बोला है जी,
सेक्सुअल हैरेसमेंट
जी। जो कोचेज होते हैं जो हमारे वुमेन्स कैंप में, उनमें से कुछ कोचेज, सभी नहीं है, महिलाओं के साथ भी और लड़कियों के साथ भी, और वही लड़कियों से बात करवाते हैं, और फिर अध्यक्ष जी उनके साथ में शोषण करते हैं। और पता नहीं हजारों तो नहीं बोलूं मैं, 100 लड़कियां, और मैं यहाँ पे जो लोग लड़कियां बैठी हैं उसमें से 1-2 लड़की के साथ भी ये घटना हुई है जी।
यहाँ पे जो बैठी है
जी,
पहले क्यों नहीं आवाज उठाई?
जी, आप कितने पावरफुल लोग हैं जी,
भाई आप
कितने पावरफुल लोग हैं।
बताया कि
आज मैंने बोला है, मेरे को नहीं पता कल मेरी लाइफ रहेगी नहीं रहेगी।
विनेश माफ कीजिएगा सवाल, जब आप बोल रहे कि यहाँ पे कुछ लड़कियाँ बैठी हैं, क्या हुआ उनमें से
जी
कौन?
जी नहीं, हम टाइम आने पे बोलेंगे ना, नहीं नाम नहीं लेंगे किसी का भी, हमारी भी इज्जत है। हम लड़कियां हैं, हम हिंदुस्तान में सीरियस एलिगेशन सर हम ऐसे नहीं लगाते, लड़कियां हमारी इज्जत है। हम देश के लिए, हम देश हमारे को ऊंची नजरों से देखता, हम अपने उनकी नजरों में गिरवाने के नहीं
कोर्ट से आएंगे या किसी भी थ्रू आएंगे तो वो चीजें,
वो सब चीजें हम बताएंगे, जरूर बताएंगे। कम से कम मैं 10 से 20 लड़कियों के नाम बता सकती हूँ नेशनल कैंप में, जो मैंने आज तक 10 सालों में जो देखा, जिन्होंने अपनी स्टोरी मेरे को बताई है बैठ के सामने कि हमारे साथ ऐसे ऐसे हुआ है, ऐसे ऐसे हुआ है। लेकिन उस लड़कियों में इतनी हिम्मत नहीं सामने आने की, क्योंकि फैमिली बैकग्राउंड अच्छा नहीं है, क्योंकि वो इनसे लड़ नहीं सकती, क्योंकि पावरफुल नहीं है। और हम आज इतनी इस हद पे हैं कि हम नहीं चाहते कि मेरे को आज कुश्ती खत्म कर दो भगवान की दया से, मेरे पास घर है, खाने को रोटी है, लेकिन मैं नहीं चाहती कि हमारी आने वाली जनरेशन इस दर्द से गुजरे या इस दौर से गुजरे, इस दलदल में फंसे। रेसलिंग को बचाने हम यहाँ पे आए हैं। सिर्फ हमारी मोटिवेशन है कि हमें लड़कियां, मैं लड़की हूँ,
हमें क्या, हम तो 1-2 साल और कर लेंगे, ठीक, हम काफी सीनियर्स हैं, लेकिन हमारे आगे आने वाला भविष्य, हम अपनी कुश्ती को बचाने के लिए लड़ रहे हैं। हम अपने लिए नहीं लड़ रहे हैं, हम अपनी कुश्ती को बचाने के लिए लड़ रहे हैं, क्योंकि आप लोगों ने हमें बहुत प्यार दिया, देशवासियों ने खूब प्यार किया है, और हमने हर जगह मेडल जीता है। भगवान करे हम 2024 है उसमें भी हम देश के लिए मेडल जीते, पर जो टॉर्चर चल रहा है खिलाड़ियों के ऊपर, उस हिसाब से मुझे नहीं लगता कि
रेसलिंग में कुछ भी होने वाला है।
विनेश, आपने अभी बोला कि हम पहले इसलिए नहीं बोल पाए क्योंकि उनके पास रुतबा भी है, पावर भी है, पैसा भी है जी। सडनली अब जो आपकी हिम्मत है जी, ये हिम्मत कैसे आप लोगों ने जुटाई, अभी बात कर?
सर, जब पानी सिर से ऊपर निकल जाता है, अभी हमारे पास जिंदा रहने को कुश्ती है और कुश्ती हमें वो करने नहीं दे रहे हैं। मरने हमारे पास एक ही ऑप्शन है, मरना है। तो मरना है तो कम से कम भला करके तो मरे।
इधर रिसेंटली कुछ हुआ है क्या? इधर कुछ हुआ है क्या जिसकी वजह से?
किधर
मतलब
डेली होता है सर, डेली होता है सर। बहुत जब से अध्यक्ष जी को हम जानते हैं तब से हम यही कहानियां सुन रहे हैं। और मैं बता रही हूँ ना, यहाँ बैठी लड़कियों के साथ भी अगर हुआ है तो उनमें से कोई एक दो तो है ही।
हमारा कैंप लखनऊ होता है, हमने बहुत बार रिक्वेस्ट किया कि सर हमारा
लखनऊ में कैंप क्यों लगाया जाता है? हमने प्रधानमंत्री जी से लेके हमने खेल मंत्री जी से हमने सबको रिक्वेस्ट करके हमने लेटर भी बनाया है। वहाँ शोषण इजिली और
मोस्टली रेसलर है या यूपी से है या इधर से है, हरियाणा से है, सब अलाउड नहीं है, पेरेंट्स अलाउड नहीं है।
हमारी निजी जिंदगी में दखलंदाजी करते हैं कि मैंने किससे शादी कर ली, कौन मेरा बॉयफ्रेंड है, कौन मेरी गर्लफ्रेंड है, बजरंग ने किससे शादी कर ली, अभी शादी क्यों कर रहे हो। मतलब हमारी निजी जिंदगी में भी उनका दखलंदाज इतना है कि हमारी फैमिली तक की उनको खबर रहनी चाहिए कि हमारी फैमिली में भी कौन जी रहा है, कौन मर रहा है।
अब कब तक आप लोग प्रोटेस्ट पे हैं? आगे
जब तक उनको नहीं हटाया जाएगा बिल्कुल, और हम ये कुश्ती का भविष्य है, ये सुरक्षित हाथों में नहीं जाएगा तब तक हम यही हैं, चाहे हमें मरना पड़ जाए, जीना पड़ जाए।
धरना कंटिन्यू रहेगा। ये साल बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है बजरंग भाई।
देखिए
तो क्या कम्प्लीटली
बिल्कुल भाई, हम कोई भी टूर्नामेंट नहीं खेलेंगे चाहे, क्योंकि हम अपनी कुश्ती का भविष्य अंधकार में नहीं डाल सकते। अगर हमने आवाज उठाई है तो हम अपनी कुश्ती को दोबारा से जिंदा करवा के ही छोड़ेंगे, चाहे उसके लिए हमें कुछ भी करना पड़े।
जब तक W5 प्रेसिडेंट को नहीं हटाया जाता है, आप में से कोई भी किसी भी कंपटीशन में पार्ट नहीं लेगा।
कोई बात नहीं, धरने पे बैठे रहेंगे।
बताइए ना, जो बंदा इतने सब अगर कर्म कर रहा है, इतने अच्छे कर्म जो कर रहा है, उसको अध्यक्ष पद पे रहने का एक है क्या अधिकार है? कितनी ही मैं बता रही हूँ, कितनी ही लड़कियों की स्टोरी मेरे को पता है जिन्होंने सामने बैठ के रो रो के हमें स्टोरियां सुनाई है नेशनल कैंप में, लेकिन हम कर क्या सकते हैं?
बजरंग, विनेश, आपने स्पोर्ट्स मिनिस्ट्री से कोई बात करने की कोशिश की है? कुछ बात हुई है वहाँ पर?
अभी हमने किसी से बात नहीं करी है, और अभी हम कॉन्फ्रेंस आप लोग पहुँचाएंगे वो चीजें, तो वो सभी देखें। हमारी रिक्वेस्ट सिर्फ प्रधानमंत्री जी से और गृह मंत्री जी से है कि हम उनसे मुलाकात करके हम अपना सारा जो आप नाम पूछ रहे थे, हम उनके सामने वो चीजें बता भी सकते हैं, और वो ही इस चीज मुद्दे को हटा सकते हैं।
मतलब लड़कियों के नाम जो जिनके साथ
जी।
बजरंग, ये भी है कि आप जहाँ तक देखा गया है कि जब कभी भी है ना खिलाड़ी फेडरेशन के अगेंस्ट में आके खड़े हो जाते हैं तो फेडरेशन उनके पीछे पड़ जाती है। ठीक है, आप लोगों तो अपने करियर के उस पड़ाव पे है कि जहाँ 1-2 साल और, बट काफी यंग जो आपके साथ अब बैठे थे, सोनम है, अंशु है, जिनका करियर भी बहुत आगे, वो लोग भी कहीं।
आपको क्या लगता है सर, जिस तरह से शोषण हो रहा है, ये लोग वहाँ तक पहुँच पाएंगे क्या? मैं कितना
फेडरेशन करियर खत्म करने पे आ जाती है।
मेरा तो अभी तक ओलंपिक्स में मेडल नहीं आया है। मैं 2024 की तैयारी करी हूँ। मैं कोई बहुत ज्यादा सीनियर या मेरी ओवरेज नहीं हुई है, लेकिन मैं फिर भी आई हूँ ओलंपिक्स के लिए। मैं जी रही मर रही हूँ। अगर मेरा मेडल नहीं आया ना तो शायद मैं ये भी सोचूं कि मैं मर भी जाऊँ उस मेडल के लिए। कोई ये भी बोल रहा है मरने के बाद वो मेडल मिलेगा, वो मरने को भी तैयार उस मेडल के लिए। वो बंदा मेरे को हर दिन मेंटली टॉर्चर कर रहा है, हर दिन, हर एक चीज के लिए। हर कोई भी परमिशन है, नाम लेना है, हर दिन पैरों में गिड़गिड़ाओ, भीख मांगो, ये करो वो करो। तो मर्जी हैं जो हमारे रेसलिंग में असिस्टेंट सेक्रेटरी के पोस्ट पे वो बैठे हैं। जो भी बच्चे जाते हैं, कभी उनको गिफ्ट देते हैं, कभी घी देते हैं, कभी दूध देते हैं, कभी पैसे देते हैं, तब उनके नाम डालते हैं कैंप में। कोचेज के नाम डालते हैं इंटरनेशनल कैंप के लिए पैसे लेके। जो टोक्यो ओलंपिक्स में जो वुमेन्स टीम के साथ में जो एक कोच गया था, राजीव तोमर, वो उनको वुमेन्स रेसलिंग का कुछ भी नहीं पता, ना कभी वो हमारी टीम के साथ में थे कभी भी, क्योंकि उनको रेलवे में प्रमोशन होना था तो उनको टोक्यो ओलंपिक से भेज दिया गया पैसे लेके, और उसके बाद में हमारा क्या रिजल्ट रहा? 0। ना हमारे साथ फिजियो है, ना हमारे पास कोई भी अच्छा कोच है, तो रिजल्ट क्या रहेगा?
अच्छा विनेश, इस बार टोक्यो ओलंपिक्स में वैसे देखिए बहुत सारी बातें हमें पता है, लेकिन कुछ ऐसी चीज जो आप यहाँ बताना चाहें जो अभी पर्दे के पीछे है, जिसका हमारे रेसलिंग के मेडल्स पे असर आया हो? मतलब आप
जी, मैंने बता दिया कि हमारे पास फिजियो नहीं था, तो टोक्यो ओलंपिक्स में कोविड
के पहले कुछ बोला गया हो आपको ऐसा जिससे आप डिस्टर्ब हुई हो?
जो कोचेज लगाए जाते हैं ना, वो आपको हर दिन ब्रेक करते हैं मेंटली। जो कोचेज हमारे साथ में थे वो मेंटली आपको ब्रेक करें, हर दिन आपको कीड़े की तरह खा रहे हैं, आपको पता भी नहीं लगता कि कब खा गई। आपकी हर चीज को अनडिसिप्लिन करार दिया जाता है। आप पानी भी अगर उनकी परमिशन के बिना पी लिया ना तो आप अनडिसिप्लिन हो उनकी नजरों में। फिर आपको फेडरेशन कॉल करके बोलेगी कि आपने पानी कैसे पी लिया हमारे बिना पूछे।
आप ये बताइए, किसी भी फेडरेशन किसी MP की कोठी में है, उसका स्पेशल पर्सनल ऑफिस होता है। पर रेसलिंग फेडरेशन जो है वो प्रेसिडेंट के घर पे है।
बट इस बारे में आप लोगों ने कभी भी स्पोर्ट्स मिनिस्टर किसी को संज्ञान में क्यों नहीं लेकर आए ये बात? ठीक है, फेडरेशन प्रेसिडेंट तो पावरफुल है,
वही बोल रहे ना, मारने तक की धमकी आ रही है, तो कौन बच्चा खिलाड़ी, कौन बच्चा?
अगर इधर हम जितने भी एथलीट है ना, हमारे साथ अगर कुछ भी होगा ना कल को, तो अध्यक्ष जी मान लेना कि अध्यक्ष जी ने ही किया है। इतने पावरफुल बंदे हैं, हम आज सामने आए हैं, तो हम, मैं बता देना, आगे कुआ पीछे खाई, हम मरने के लिए तैयार हैं।
सोच समझ के आए हैं आगे सभी प्लेयर।
और हम पीछे हटने वाले नहीं
चले
हैं।
जाएंगे।
पूछ रहे थे कि कितने जने अपना करियर दाव पे लगा के आए हैं, कईयों के पास तो नौकरी भी नहीं है, स्ट्रगल कर रहे हैं नौकरी के लिए, पर करियर दाव पे लगा के भी यहाँ आए।
बजरंग गणेश, आप दोनों ने कहा कि हमको मारने की धमकी दी गई, उसका कारण
मुझे
क्या
विनेश को दी गई है।
क्यों दी गई, क्या कारण है?
क्योंकि मैंने प्रधानमंत्री जी को उनकी शिकायत कर दी थी, जो मेरे साथ हुआ था, टोक्यो के बाद में उन्होंने मेरे को बुलाया था, जब मैं मेरी फैमिली के साथ गई थी, उन्होंने मेरे को अच्छा टाइम दिया। मेरे को वही समझ में नहीं आता ना कि देश के प्रधानमंत्री अपने घर पे भी आपको बुलाने का टाइम दे रहे हैं, आपकी फैमिली से मिल रहे हैं, उन्होंने मेरे को मिलने तक का टाइम नहीं दिया। मेरी फैमिली ने, मेरे हस्बैंड ने, मैंने इतना रिक्वेस्ट किया। मैं बजरंग को पूछो, जब मैं मोदी जी के प्रोग्राम में गई थी, बजरंग के सामने मैं रोने लगी थी। बजरंग ने भी बोला कि सर बात तो करो, उन्होंने मेरे से बात तक नहीं की।
मैंने बोला था, मगा जी बालक है, माफ कर दो, कोई नहीं, आप ही के बच्चे हैं, आप भी तो कुश्ती के लिए काम कर रहे हो, पर फिर भी बोला कि भाई नहीं, ज्यादा हवा में उड़ रहे हैं, ये थोड़ा कंट्रोल होने दो इनको।
क्योंकि आपने वो इशू पीएम के सामने रेज किया
जी, तो जी कि आप जाके या तो उनसे बात कर लो जाके अध्यक्ष जी से, नहीं तो आपको या तो आपका करियर खत्म ही कर देंगे रेसलिंग से, आप भूल ही जाना रेसलिंग करना, तो क्या ही होता है। फेडरेशन से नहीं, फेडरेशन के लोगों से फोन आए हमारे पास।
कभी नेताजी ने डायरेक्टली कॉल करके
जी नहीं, उनके खास लोग बहुत है जी, उनको जरूरत ही नहीं पड़ती।
मैडम, आप लोग देश की शान है, आप गंभीर आरोप लगा रही है कि जान से मारने की धमकी मिल रही है, यौन शोषण कर रहा है अध्यक्ष, तो जब आप इतनी हिम्मत जुटा रहे कि आप मीडिया से बात कर रहे हैं, क्या इसकी पुलिस में शिकायत आप लोग देंगे और अब तक क्यों नहीं दी है?
सर हम आपको वही बता रहे हैं कि इतनी हिम्मत जुटा के हम पहली बार हम रेसलर इकट्ठा हुए हैं। सब रेसलर इतने डरते थे कि अगर हमने एक दूसरे से बात भी कर ली ना, तो पता नहीं क्या ही हो जाएगा। क्या मैंने बजरंग को बता दिया ना, क्या मतलब ऐसे चल रहा है।
क्या पुलिस में कंप्लेंट?
देखिए, जितना भी होगा पॉसिबल हम सब कुछ करेंगे। अभी अब इतना ओपन में ही आ गए हैं, तो अभी तो
प्राइम मिनिस्टर से या फिर स्पोर्ट्स मिनिस्टर से यहाँ से आप लोग क्या अपील करना चाहिए?
अपील तो यही है कि स्पोर्ट्स में ऐसे लोग नहीं होने चाहिए, और इतना हरासमेंट जब हमने सहा है, तो किसी भी स्पोर्ट्स में ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए, सिर्फ रेसलिंग में नहीं, और प्रेसिडेंट को जी हटाना चाहिए।
जो भी चीज प्रधानमंत्री जी और गृह मंत्री जी बात करेंगे,
जी सिर्फ रेसलिंग
से बात करेंगे।
फेडरेशन के खिलाफ में हमारी शिकायत है।
हम नहीं चाहते कि रेसलिंग का जो भविष्य वो किसी दोबारा से ऐसे हाथों में जाए। जो खिलाड़ी बैठे हैं यहाँ पे, जो खिलाड़ी हमारे पुराने खिलाड़ी हैं, सभी साथ में, ये नहीं कि हम यहाँ 20-30 लोग बैठे तो हम ही साथ में हैं। अगर हमें भीड़ इकट्ठा करना है ना, हम नहीं चाहते कि भाई यहाँ पे प्रदर्शन करें या लोगों को परेशान करें, हम वो चीज़ नहीं चाहते। तो हम इसलिए चाहते हैं कि भाई एक शांतिपूर्वक जो एक मुद्दा है उसको निपटाया जा सके। नहीं तो अगर भीड़ करनी होगी तो कल को यहाँ 2-3 हज़ार आदमी जो रेसलिंग करते हैं बच्चे, पर हम नहीं चाह रहे क्योंकि उनकी ट्रेनिंग डिस्टर्ब होगी। हम लड़ रहे हैं उन बच्चों के लिए। हमारा कैरियर तो 24 तक का है, ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा 26 तक कर लेंगे, 28 तक कर लेंगे, 28 से आगे तो हम नहीं जाएंगे। पर जो रेसलिंग का जो भविष्य दब रहा है ना, हम उसको बचाने में लगे हुए हैं।
यहाँ से आप कब जाएंगे?
हम यहाँ से जब जाएंगे जब हमारा फैसला हो जाएगा, न्याय हो जाएगा।
और भी रेसलर्स आपकी इस मुहिम में जुड़ेंगे?
बहुत सारे लोग हैं सर, बहुत। अभी हमें किसी को बताया नहीं था।
हम नहीं है जो कंपटीशन नहीं खेलेंगे, हम नहीं है प्रोटेस्ट करने वाले, हम सिर्फ एक चेहरा है उनके, कि हमारे फेस वैल्यू है, इसीलिए हम उनके लिए आए हैं। जैसे कि बजरंग ने बताया, हम तो 28 मैक्सिमम 28 तक कर लेंगे। उसके बाद का फ्यूचर जो जूनियर रेसलर है, जो हमारे खुद के अखाड़े में है,
उन्होंने तो अपने लड़के को बिठा दिया उपाध्यक्ष बना के। दूसरा करण को, शायद करण को बनाया,
पता नहीं मेरे को। हाँ,
किसी लड़के को बनाया, पता नहीं मेरे को।
जी पता नहीं।
तो जो क्या मतलब सारी जो जैसे सारी घर से ही चलाना चाह रहे हैं फेडरेशन को।
और लड़कियों की छोटी से भी छोटी चीज है ना, वो हमारे
नेशनल कैंप की,
वो हमारे नेता को पता होती है। चाहे हमारे काम में कुछ भी हो, वो उनको पता होता है।
क्योंकि वो जी कोचेज ऐसे लगाए जाते हैं ना कि उनको समाचार पत्र बने के, मतलब न्यूज रिपोर्टर बन के मिलते हैं कि विनेश ने आज कैसे किया, क्या किया, कैसे बैठी, कैसे चली, वो तक न्यूज आती है। जो हमारे तोमर जी हैं जी,
नेशनल कैंप में जितने रेसलर्स हैं सबके साथ आपकी बात हुई, सब आपके सपोर्ट में यहाँ इसमें
खिलाड़ी
सब तंग है जी, सब
परेशान है। बस वो ये चाह रहे थे कि हमारे आगे कौन खड़ा हो जाए, तो वो हम खड़े हैं जान की परवाह किए बिना, चाहे हमारे साथ कुछ भी हो जाए, हम आगे बढ़ेंगे। अभी नेशनल जो लेटेस्ट नेशनल हुआ था, अभी मैं आपको बता दूं, जो अभी विशाखापट्टनम में हुआ था दिसंबर में, पहले दिन ग्रीको रोमन का था, फ्री स्टाइल का था, दूसरे दिन ग्रीको रोमन का था, तीसरे दिन लड़कियों की कुश्ती थी। मैं खुद गया था क्योंकि संगीता वहाँ पे पार्टिसिपेट कर रही थी। उन्होंने सुबह वजन था 8 से 8.5, उन्होंने उसी दिन जो लड़कियों का जो उस दिन कुश्ती थी उस दिन कर दिया 7 से 7.5। एक लड़की है अंतिम जो अभी जूनियर वर्ल्ड चैंपियन बनी थी, उसका वेट नहीं आया। क्यों नहीं आया? क्योंकि उसको टाइम नहीं मिला। 7 बजे रेसलिंग हॉल खुला, 7 बजे वेट शुरू हो गया, तो वेट कहाँ से घटाएगी वो? ऐसे होटल बच्चे के लिए करते नहीं कि भाई जिम की सुविधा हो, वो ट्रेनिंग कर ले, वजन कम कर ले। तो वो रूल क्या बताया मका जी, इस लड़की का वजन रह गया। मैंने खुद फोन किया, मैं इस लड़की का वजन रह गया, बोला भाई ज्यादा वो हो जाएगा प्रॉब्लम। मका जी 8 से 8:30 बजे का टाइम है, वो आप उसको टाइम दो ना। बोला नहीं आज थोड़ा जल्दी है। मैं किस लिए जल्दी? आज बोला टिकट करवा रखी है जाने की वापसी। अरे भाई आप टूर्नामेंट 3 दिन का करवा रहे हो, आप 23 की जगह 25 का करवा रहे हो, 26 की टिकट करवाओ ना। आप
रूल होता है कि वेट के बाद आपको 2 घंटे का रेस्ट मिलता है,
लेकिन जो रूल है वे अभी जो रैंकिंग सीरीज करवा रखी है गोंडा में, आज आप सभी पत्रकार गेम को फॉलो करते हैं। अभी हमारा रेसलिंग का किसी पहले दिन वजन होता है? डे टू डे होता है, 2 घंटे बाद कुश्ती स्टार्ट हो जाती है। रैंकिंग सीरीज का उन्होंने कैलेंडर निकाल रखा, पहले दिन 5:30 बजे वजन है। तो उनके खुद के रूल हैं। जो बच्चे उसमें पार्टिसिपेट करते हैं उनसे 1000 रुपये एंट्री फीस ली जाती है, रहने का, खाने का, आने जाने का वो खुद पे करते हैं। तो क्या मिलता बच्चों को? जो स्पॉन्सर बैठे हैं वो इनको दे रहे हैं कि भाई आप बच्चों तक पहुंचाओ, बच्चों तक जो बच्चों के पास है वो वापस ले रहे हैं बच्चों को देने की वजह।
सब 1000 रुपए नहीं दे सकते, और अगर 1000 रुपए नहीं दिए तो बैन और फिर माफी भी नहीं मिलेगी।
हम भाई समाधान चाहते हैं कि फेडरेशन का
रिएक्शन सर, बजरंग पुनिया एंड ऑल सर वो प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस कर रहे हैं, सेक्सुअल हैरेसमेंट का भी सर उन्होंने एलिगेशन लगवाया कोच के ऊपर। सर क्या आप उनकी बात सुनेंगे? अनुराग सर, वन रिएक्शन सर, सर एथलीट से बात करेंगे आप सर प्लीज। सर सेक्सुअल हैरेसमेंट का केस है सर, सेक्सुअल हैरेसमेंट। So, as you can see, the Honorable Sports Minister, he refused to answer our questions on the allegations that were being made by the wrestlers against the Wrestler Federation of India. Grave allegations being made about sexual harassment by coaches, but not a statement that's coming in from the Sports Minister. With video journalist Shailendra, this is Shreya Chatterjee for India Today.
Big story coming in. Wrestlers dangle with the federation right there. It's a huge showdown, and just hear into some of the allegations that have been made by the players, the biggest players in the country, against their coaches, against the federation as well. And India Today is the only channel that is questioning Anurag Thakur, who is the sports minister of the country as well. We'll continue getting you all those reactions that are trickling in, but this is our top story. I promise you, it's an unprecedented display of discontent coming straight from the horse's mouth. It is the players who have voiced their discontent with the federation, with their coaches as well, and right there you can see them protesting as well. You've got top Indian wrestlers like Sakshi Malik, Bajrang Punia hitting the streets right there in protest. They're all troubled by the way the federation is acting, by the way the coaches are behaving as well. Bajrang Punia, remember, won the gold medal in 2022 Commonwealth Games. He's even tweeted about his displeasure. He said the job of the federation is to support the players, and Punia said that the needs of the sportsperson must be taken care of. This is a big dangle which is unfolding right here in the national capital. Big questions arising on how the sports ministry will now address all of these concerns put forward and voiced by all these top wrestlers of the country. In fact, India Today has also questioned the sports minister. We still have to hear him breaking his silence in terms of the corrective course of action going forward. He knows the problem now. He's heard about the problem now. He is witness to this protest.
All right, सेक्सुअल हैरेसमेंट का भी सर उन्होंने एलिगेशन लगवाया कोच के ऊपर। सर क्या आप उनकी बात सुनेंगे? अनुराग सर, वन रिएक्शन सर, एथलीट से बात करेंगे आप सर प्लीज। सर सेक्सुअल हैरेसमेंट का केस है सर, सेक्सुअल हैरेसमेंट। So, as you can see, the Honorable Sports Minister, he refused to answer our questions on the allegations that were being made by the wrestlers against the Wrestler Federation of India. Grave allegations being made about sexual harassment by coaches, but not a statement that's coming in from the Sports Minister. With video journalist Shailendra, this is Shreya Chatterjee for India Today.
Anurag Thakur has not responded to even a single question put forth by India Today. You saw him right there on your screens. Why is he silent on all these allegations that have been made? Let's listen into what's going on as far as the wrestlers' plight is concerned.
और रही बात कैंप की ना, लखनऊ कैंप सबने बोल दिया कि बहुत दूर है, सबके पास इतना पैसा नहीं होता। अर्जेंट आना पड़ेगा, तो या तो ट्रेन में स्लीपर क्लास में या बाथरूम के साथ बैठ के आओ। जिसके पास पैसा नहीं है, अर्जेंट फ्लाइट टिकट कोई अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकता है। लखनऊ कैंप क्यों है?
सोनीपत लाया जाता है,
कोई पास में लगाया जाए ना, दिल्ली लगाओ।
ये नहीं बोल रहे सोनीपत लगाओ।
नहीं, सोनीपत में क्यों नहीं लगाते?
हमारी राजधानी के इर्द गिर्द लगाओ।
सोनीपत में
करना हो तो इजीली कर सकते हैं।
जो मेंस जो टीम है उसके साथ में क्यों नहीं लगाते हैं कि ये आस की लड़ाएंगे? क्या स्पोर्ट्स पर्सन आस की लड़ाने के लिए कैंप में जा रहे हैं?
अब तक उन्होंने रिजल्ट दिलाया।
वो क्या करते हैं? वो खुद का अपना बता रहे हैं कि मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ और हम आज की लड़ाएंगे। हम अगर मेंस को कैंप के साथ में है, बजरंग मेरे से इतना सीनियर है, उसको इतना एक्सपीरियंस है, लड़कों का रेसलिंग अलग है, हम कुछ ना कुछ उनसे सीखेंगे ही।
और क्योंकि कोचेस
कितना फायदा हमें होगा,
लेकिन जैसा कि बताया गया है कि नहीं है, क्वालिफाइड कोचेस नहीं है, ये इतना जानता है, कुछ सीखने को मिलेगा। जरूरी नहीं है कि भालगड़ी लगाओ, कहने का मतलब है राजधानी के नजदीक लगाओ कि आने जाने में डिफिकल्टी ना हो, क्योंकि सब लड़कियां अफोर्ड नहीं
इतनी मीडिया के सामने झूठ थोड़ी ना बोलेंगे हम। आज आप लोग
You heard the top wrestlers of the country right there. They're sitting on a dharna. They are protesting. They voiced each and every concern of theirs. They voiced their discontentment with the federation. The sports minister of the country was present there, Anurag Thakur. And India Today asked some direct questions to Anurag Thakur, to which he did not respond. His silence right there on your screens right there. We'll wait for Anurag Thakur to respond. The sports minister ought to respond and take some corrective course of action, or at least investigate all these allegations. We're slipping into a break. Lots more coming up on the other side.
One reaction, sir.
You are watching India Today.
It's 2023, and India remains the sole shining star in the global economy. So what lies ahead as the Modi government prepares its last full budget before the 2024 general elections? Join the biggest names in business journalism, decoding the jargon with the biggest newsmakers. From the most credible, in-depth analysis of Budget 2023, tune in for Modinomics 2023 through the month. Only on India Today and Business Today Television, gold standard of business journalism.
Your latest survey, which is around 4,400 global CEOs, has a very interesting take. From record optimism to record pessimism is the mood of global CEOs as captured by this survey, which has been literally released just a few hours back. Bob, tell us about the key takeaways.
The key takeaway is 73% of the CEOs are pessimistic about the global economy and its ability to grow next year. Let's put that into context. As you said, that is a record level of pessimism. And the last time we had this was back in 2008 and 2009 during the financial crisis. Now, I will say it's coming off first a relative comparison compared to last year. So it's not a surprise that that pessimism exists today when you look at the macroeconomic factors, inflation, rising interest rates, and the volatility and uncertainty that rests in the marketplace consistently around the globe right now. Because that pessimism is fairly consistent around the world on the economy as well as across multiple sectors. The interesting thing is geopolitics is now equally playing a part of that concern. And it's well beyond the China-US stuff that we've talked about previously. It's going to what's happening in the Middle East. It's going to what's happening in the EU. And can we actually move forward and hold strong relevant to how they're actually dealing with the war, energy pricing, and the like. So there's a lot of pessimism in the system. The question on the table is, have CEOs gone too far last year on the optimism and maybe too far on the pessimism this year? And the question is how to manage our way through it. And that's the big aha.
We'll take that big aha. But you spoke about 2008. Would it be fair if some people were to assume after reading this survey that you are saying that it's a return of 2008?
No, the difference this time around is back in 2008, first, it was caused by a shock to the system that no one saw coming. In this case, all of these factors that have driven the concern, we've seen. It's been building. It's been a boiling pot, so to speak, in terms of the issues. It's the magnitude of the issues. It's the combination and the amplification of these issues and the economic implications. The second difference from 2008 and 2009, the amount of confidence CEOs had in their ability to grow revenues in 2008 and 2009 fell down dramatically, consistent with their view on the economy. This time, it's fallen. So they don't think they'll be able to grow as much their own revenues, but much less than ever before. Let's remember the CEOs went through COVID. There is a lot of muscle memory in terms of, okay, how do I change and direct the ship during really uncertain times? We continue to have them. In the past, it was solely COVID. Now it's a combination of other things.
Food shortage, stampedes, gunfires. Pakistan, a country of 23 crore people, is now paying for its crimes. For far too long, Islamabad overlooked governance and instead focused all its energies on the use of terror as a strategic weapon. Today, firing their AK-47 rifles, the army and police are protecting the priceless wheat flour against hungry crowds, risking their lives to lay their hands on that one bag of food. Pakistan is facing its worst ever food crisis, with parts of the country reporting shortage of wheat. Stampedes have been reported in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Sindh and Balochistan provinces. The country is drowning in debt, making even imports a tough task. Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif met UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed on Sunday. The nuclear weapon state, struggling to stay afloat, sought a fresh economic package from the UAE.
और मुझे बड़ी शर्म आ रही है, लेकिन मजबूरी है हमारे मामलात जो माली मामलात जो हैं इस वक्त बड़े IMF की शराइत में हम जकड़े हुए हैं. अभी भी 9th रिव्यू मुकम्मल नहीं हुआ. उनके शर्त है कि जनाब बिजली की कीमतें बढ़ाएं, फलां कीमतें बढ़ाएं. गरीब आदमी को अपन कितना और बोझ डालें.
The country is facing challenges on multiple fronts like plummeting forex reserves, high inflation which has reached 42%, conflict with Taliban, Baloch insurgency, food shortage, power crisis and massive flood damage. Country that funded terror is now left embarrassed for begging for funds.
वहाँ पर मैंने तफसील से बात की कि मुझे बड़ी आई फील वेरी एम्बैरेस्ड कि मैं आपसे हर दफ़ा आता हूँ, कोई और आता है तो आप कहते तो नहीं, लेकिन दिल के अंदर तो आप समझते होंगे ये पैसे मांगने आ गए हैं.
With UAE pledging additional $1 billion to help cash-strapped ally Pakistan, question arises, will Islamabad use the money to meet the basic needs of citizens, or will it once again be used to fund terror? Bureau Report, India Today.
Where the Ukrainians seem to be pushing back against the Russian army, but we're also seeing the Russian army now being armed with Iranian drones, which seem to be having a devastating effect, and the level of war crime seems to be increasing. What's your sense of how the Russia-Ukraine war plays out through this year?
I mean, the smart money, I think, is on things continuing as they are in a rough stalemate. What is very clear to me is that the Ukrainians are not going to give up. They've gone all in on losing whatever they have to lose to win the war. They have so far rejected any notion of peace talks, in part because they feel like they're in a position of strength, they have momentum. So that's their side of things. On their end, they need Western supplies of weapons, more advanced weapons. Recently, they've just gotten a delivery of tanks from the UK. They've asked for more higher level artillery, stuff, rockets that reach further into Russian territory. That's the kind of stuff they want moving forward. On Russia's end, who knows? I mean, we're essentially talking about the mindset of one person and what he wants out of this. At some point, you've got to wonder that he thinks that he's gotten something that he can declare as a victory, that he can make seem as a victory. We don't know what that is exactly. We've begun to hear rumblings that the Russians might want to talk at some point, but this only works if both sides want to talk. So we need the Russians to need it as much as the Ukrainians do. We're not there yet.
We're also seeing NATO countries offer arms to Ukraine, which was so far off the table. Increasingly, tanks being given, which earlier was seen as NATO being dragged more deep into the conflict, which NATO was trying to avoid. How high, according to you, is the probability of the conflict escalating this year?
It's fairly high. It's as high as it was even last year. I mean, you know, there's still the imminent risk of Russians using a tactical nuclear device, of them feeling like they're back.
The battle for 2024 kicks off. Opposition unity is a pipe dream. Arvind Kejriwal, KCR and Akhilesh unite. Congress, TMC and Sena not part of the Bonhomie. No opposition Jodo ahead of 2024. That's our top focus on 5 Live.
Such a huge political deja vu based on what's happening right now. The big countdown to 2024 has begun, 400 days and counting. In fact, we're launching a special show at 7 p.m. today with Preeti Chaudhary, which you'll see in just a short while from now, which captures that big final stretch before the big state of war of 2024. But the big deja vu now is on that third front, the anti-Modi alliance. And is it going to be Modi versus the rest in the election coming up? I'm Shiv. This is 5 Live. As always, the headlines first. India's Olympian wrestlers protest against Wrestling Federation of India. Alleged sexual harassment by the top boss. Sports Minister silent on explosive claims by sportspersons. State of War Northeast kicks off. Tripura to go to the polls on February the 16th. Nagaland and Meghalaya to vote on February 27th. Counting days for all 3 states, March the 2nd. Tamil Nadu governor attempts to end Tamilagam Rao, clarifies that he never wanted to rename the state, said it was more an appropriate expression. Fresh twist in Telangana, Thappad Rao. Victim reveals that he was beaten by Bandi Sanjay's son as he misbehaved with the friend's sister. Ugly low in Karnataka politics after calling defectors prostitutes. Congress MLC attempts damage control and says he respects sex workers. BJP Mantri hits back with a pimp jibe. We've got breaking news coming in at the top of 5 Live. India today has accessed the first statement in court by actor Jacqueline Fernandez on the Sukesh Chandrasekhar in the entire Bollywood con scandal. Viewer, nobody else has a copy of Jacqueline's statement, and I'm going to break it down for you right here, first in exclusive as always on India Today. Jacqueline Fernandez has just told court, Sukesh Chandrasekhar misled me, has ruined my career and my livelihood. He used impersonation tactics and fictitious identities and intimidating conduct to mislead me. Huge, explosive claims by Jacqueline Fernandez, who's been embroiled over the last year in the infamous Bollywood con scandal that is said to be worth about 200 crore rupees, with Sukesh Chandrasekhar being the kingpin, accused of hundreds of crores of extortion from India's rich. Remember, Nora Fatehi has been drawn in as a witness, but Jacqueline Fernandez has been listed as an accused. I want to go across straight to Munish Pandey for more on this big breaking story. Munish, decode for us, what Jacqueline has said. She's basically saying that she was conned into this whole thing, that she is a victim and definitely not part of the scam.
Well, Shiv, my colleague Srishti Ojha has got this report, and she's the first one to get the entire statement of not only Jacqueline Fernandez but Nora Fatehi. It's a sensational statement. Now, as far as Jacqueline Fernandez's statement is concerned, remember what is important in this statement is, for the first time, Jacqueline Fernandez has accepted that she was emotionally attached to Sukesh Chandrasekhar. Not only she has claimed that Sukesh Chandrasekhar is someone who has played with the emotions of her, but also misled her, ruined her career. This statement becomes very important, Shiv, because remember, this statement was recorded before a magistrate, which means that this will become an evidence, and now Delhi police will investigate this case in this particular line. Now, Jacqueline Fernandez earlier, before the enforcement directorate, had already said that Sukesh Chandrasekhar was a person who introduced himself as someone who is politically connected to a South politician family. He impersonated as someone else, but later when they got engaged in conversations, Sukesh was the one who was emotionally attached to Jacqueline Fernandez. Apart from that, Jacqueline has also said that Sukesh is the one who promised big houses, big cars, and he was someone who wanted Jacqueline Fernandez to spend the entire life with him. Now, this part that she played with my emotions, it is also an acceptance on the part of Jacqueline Fernandez that somehow, somewhere, she was involved with this con man, and this is why this statement becomes really important, Shiv, as far as this entire 215 crore extortion case is concerned, and as far as the biggest con man of this country is concerned, that is Sukesh Chandrasekhar.
Massive exclusive. India Today's Srishti Ojha and Munish Pandey decoding first access to this statement from Jacqueline Fernandez, in court right now. It's the first words we've heard from court by Jacqueline Fernandez, accessed exclusively by India Today's Srishti Ojha, who joins me live from the capital as well. Srishti, basically two things that Jacqueline... Okay, we'll get back to Srishti in just a moment. Munish, coming back to you, what is the status of Jacqueline Fernandez's case right now? She was listed as an accused. You had Nora Fatehi take a sort of sideways swipe at her as well. How much trouble is Jacqueline Fernandez in now? Because now she says, I have been scammed in this whole thing. My career is ruined.
Well, Shiv, this is what Jacqueline Fernandez has been claiming since last year, since the time the Enforcement Directorate called her to record a statement for the first time. Now, as far as Enforcement Directorate's case is concerned, Jacqueline Fernandez stands as an accused in the case. That is the trouble part for Jacqueline Fernandez. But as far as Delhi police case is concerned, she is now a witness in the case because she has given her statement under Section 164 of CRPC, which means that now she will be witness in Delhi police case. That is a big relief for Jacqueline Fernandez. But as far as this entire charge sheet, remember this statement is also a part of charge sheet, Shiv, of Delhi police, which means that these are the charges which will be leveled against Sukesh Chandrasekhar and other accused in the case. But not only Jacqueline Fernandez, Noora Fateh's statement is also very important. Now, Noora Fateh in her statement has gone on to say that Sukesh Chandrasekhar was a person who wanted undue favors from her. And what undue favors? Everyone knows what Sukesh Chandrasekhar wanted from Noora Fateh. Also, she has said that Sukesh Chandrasekhar is a person who wanted Noora Fateh to become his girlfriend.